Nitro is the glory,
but e-buggy pays the bills. Welcome to the No Name RC podcast. Get ready for some serious bench racing. But be warned, we speak our minds, express our thoughts, and sometimes things can get a little rowdy.
Hate, and he just was influenced by the hate coming from the left, the hate coming from the right.
And let's get back to more club racing and less of this grabbing racing.
It's hard not to be arrogant when you're always right. You know?
See what I mean? That's exactly why people call you Arrogant Max.
You may not agree with everything we say, but it's definitely worth a listen.
And our pick, can you stop whatever you're doing?
Join your host, Lefty the Great, with co-hosts and guests as they get together to chat RC.
Hey, after that race that I watched this morning, I have to talk about it.
There we go. $100 right here, $100 bill. Oh no!
I like this.
Yes, indeed. Nitro's the glory. E-buggy pays the bills. An impromptu coffee and RC with Max and Lefty is going to help you get through your Tuesday afternoon chills. I rhymed.
Yeah, it's almost like, you was hosting a talk radio there.
What's up, everybody? Max and I are back. First of two live shows that I'm doing today myself. We're doing the Coffee and RC talk show. This is a talk show here with Max. Thanks for joining us. And then, of course, I will be doing a INS preview show for round 2 at RC1. Joining me will be Mike Hemelek, the owner, as well as Jason Rona. So I'll see you guys all tonight at 7:30ish, because I have to do a giveaway as well for Elite RC Productions and S-Works car. So that will be this evening. But it's been quite some time since myself and Max were together on the show. It's been about a month-ish. So we decided to do an impromptu. You was actually supposed to record with Will, and then something happened because he's going to EOS and you have no internet.
Yeah, there was some maintenance at my apartment complex, and I got an email about it, but it was all in French, so I wasn't aware yesterday. So but now we're here. We're covering our bases here. We're doing coffee and RC. So
yeah,
that's good. Or for me, as I'm in French, I'm having more of a grape coffee.
Max is having some wine. I'm having a Coke soda as well.
Not sponsored.
Yeah, just Coke soda. So I don't feel like a coffee right now. But we do have some stuff to talk about in RC. But before I do that, I want you guys to share this out. We only got about 21 people. We got RC Victory Lane, we got BJ and X-Tech 101. X-Tech being from Sweden. So please share this out, guys. Maybe Tuesday is not a good day for this, and it was kind of impromptu, but share it out. Let's get some people in here. It's going to be a kind of laid back, hanging out type of show today. And that show is brought to you. What's up, Nick Sad? How you doing? That show is brought to you by our sponsors, our title sponsor, J Concepts, High Tech RCD, Sidewinder Fuels, Beach RC, Invisible Speed, ML Toys, Elite RC Productions, Tekno RC, One Up Racing, Mayako, SMC Batteries, SJ Racing, A Main Hobbies, Get Shit Done Coffee, and don't forget about the Shaw's Truck Nationals coming up there in the 3rd to last weekend of October, I believe it is. So thank you to all those companies. We greatly appreciate their support. We have links for them in the written description of this podcast. If you can go over, use them, and save you some money, we might get a little slice as well, or just let them know that you heard about this on the No Name RC podcast. It greatly helps us out. We appreciate it. Good afternoon, everybody. People tuning in. We got Barry Rowe III. He's down there in Texas. Tyler Albert up there in the Midwest. I'll probably see him in a few weeks' time in Michigan. And then we have John Lezeninski. I don't know if he's from up in that area, but his name kind of belongs up in that area. Max said, Mary Rose says, Max, I don't care about what Lefty said about you. I think
what have you said about me? What have you said about me?
So I did meet another American fan of you, or person that doesn't mind you. So you are gaining some popularity in the USA. Well
Oh,
done,
I,
man.
I think I think I'm gaining a bunch of popularity because
Well, maybe not
people
the popularity
people
that you want.
no, but I think I have some fans in there as well. I mean, I am somewhat a divisive person, but I tend to at least formulate my opinions very fairly. So I do think people are starting to get what I'm talking about sometimes. So not always. You don't have to be the fan of me at all times, but I feel like I'm gaining some fans over there in the States. So that's good. That's good. Bridging the gaps.
Oh yeah, and then I've heard some not some good things said about you, but I just laugh because it's funny.
Oh yeah, but like, well, let's just
Oh,
say
here we
that
go.
I've been
Let's start off on a good foot.
no, I'm compared to some of the opinions about the people over the pond that these Frenchies have here. I think I'm quite easy on you guys. So
I can see that happen. I can see.
I think if you heard what these people think about the
Look,
people across the pond,
look, Nick said
it's a
I'm
bit
number one.
different.
Fan. Max, Max, Max. There you go.
Yeah, good job, good
Uh,
job.
Dwayne Henderson Lefty, I'll bring you a latte when I come to the INS RC1. See you then. Yes, it's going to be good. Tune into our show tonight as well with Mike Hemelek. Also, a big shout out to our drivers. They are David Ronafalk having a good run there at Neoland. Already talked to him about coming on the show here when I get back home, having a catch up with David, see what's going on. Never count out the Viking. That was a big thing that myself and Aiden Horn were talking about. And he was like, no, he's washed up. He just races once in a while. And I said, and he's going to show you guys why he can still beat you once in a while. Also, big shout out to Mason Fuller, Hurl Robert Badier, Alexander Robert made the main at Neo as well. Alexander Hagberg, Matty G, Pecco Evening. Pecco is enjoying some time off RC for a little bit. It seems I was watching him. Una Hotnan, Mason Fuller, who I would say did not have a Mason Fuller-esque PMB. Was good in qualifying, not so good in. Was good, was definitely in the hunt, but with the Joker lanes and stuff like that, it kind of messes things up. So, yeah. What's up, Frank Sell? And OGRC says, Lefty, we're back. We are back. We're 2 shows today. Double the fun. Coffee and RC, more laid back, and then a little bit more 10 scale-esque tonight with INS. So, all right, Max. So, I think maybe a quick catch-up. I know you've been kind of busy. Your girlfriend came for Easter. You had Easter over in France. How much longer do you have over in France? Because I think that's how much longer I have of productivity before you go back to Finland.
I'm gonna be here until mid of June, and but yeah, I have 2 weeks of holiday now. They seem to enjoy their Easter holidays. So 2 weeks of that, and yeah, I'll be back in Finland in the middle of June. We had a bit of a holiday. My girlfriend, I guess now fiance. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I did make a post about it. But yeah, my now fiance came over, and we went to Italy for a few days. We hanged out here in the beautiful city of Leon, and yeah, I've been enjoying a good week off of everything basically. No school, no podcast, no nothing. So yeah.
I did not know that. Congratulations. I saw a post. I haven't had a chance to read it, but congratulations. I can't say that I didn't see this coming, but
Yeah.
can we have? Are you gonna serve only vegan food at your wedding, or will you appease the meat eaters?
I think it's gonna be only vegan food. But
Okay.
that's a good chance for people the one that don't like vegan food to taste it out once in their life at least.
Well, congratulations. I even saw they had vegan sneakers, and I took a picture of them the other day.
Yeah.
And sent them to you.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So everybody's saying congratulations. We got Mr. 5 Laps, Anthony Donnelly, Beer, and Bratwarts as well. I'm gonna meet him shortly. We got Noah Ben Mohammed's dad in her. He sent me a message. I think tag me in a reel. I haven't had a chance to look at it. Mac's new name, Salad Sally. I don't get it.
I don't even eat that much salad. I do like salad.
He survives on bread.
No, I mean,
hey, but
usually not. When I'm at races, yeah.
Hold on. How do you know that bread's not vegan? How do you know it's not got egg in it?
Usually, at least in Europe, it's if you have egg, you're gonna have to say it on the ingredient list. So,
hello, Mr. Lance.
Yeah.
And we're live.
Someone said
Hello,
vegan
everybody.
sneakers
Everybody's
is
doing
barefoot.
Well. Max, ugly as always.
Lance just walked in. He's going to go into town real quick. He says, "Hi, Max," but he didn't wave like that.
Yeah, I did. I waved.
Oh, there he goes.
I did too.
He can't see. You got to
Oh.
tone there.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
We're good.
When
We're
you hope
good.
everything's good. Everybody have a good time. Good show. See ya.
We'll be live later on tonight, doing the giveaway.
Yeah.
So
Somebody asked if I'm gonna invite GQ to the wedding. I had not actually thought about this, but I think I will. Yeah, he was one of the first ones to congratulate me. So, yeah, I think I will. No reason not to.
Mike Lopes, I think I'll make the grueling 15-minute drive to RC1. Yes, and some more cheddar cheese, caramel popcorn. That stuff's money. I wonder if JQ would go. You know him; he's not good at going to weddings. So
I think he'll be there. He'll
Okay.
be there.
Well, I'm very happy for you that you very young and you've been with your girlfriend for some time. Now, I just hope this doesn't mess with your productivity. You've been very productive.
No, I don't think. Maybe when we have the wedding, then probably I'll have to spend more time on that. But we're not gonna have it too soon. It's gonna be a while before we.
How much longer do you have in school?
I'll be fingers crossed. I'll be graduating during this summer. So right as I go back home, I should be graduated, and then I need to look for a real job, I guess.
Ooh, so then you're gonna have no time at all for this type of stuff.
Maybe, or then I'll have. Well, to be honest, I'm not too much of a school goer, so yeah.
JQ as
maybe
best
one.
man. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't spent too much time recently together, but I mean, there was a point where we basically hung out all year, all the time. Yeah, we basically traveled together.
You was his Padawan, you know? He
Yeah,
was your Dark Jedi master, and you was his Sith apprentice.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And then in the way of Sith going, you're actually supposed to how you become a Sith master or a Sith. You actually have to vanquish your master. Like that's how you become one, and then that your student is going to come up and do the same to you eventually at some point. So
yeah, I need to find my Padawan, I guess.
Nick says JQ wedding speech would be legendary.
Yeah.
Nick Salto and JV Go Racing. JV's doing a lot of TikTok stuff, a lot of Instagram shorts as well. Check him out. That's my boy from up in NorCal. It's kind of intimidating to be in the presence of so many fast guys. You're used to it. The force is with Lefty. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm a Star Wars fanatic. I think I love Star Wars. I think George Lucas was kidnapped by aliens. He's too much that he knows. We got Powell in. He says hello from Powell Race Stars. I see his bags are going quite well. He's advertising on RC Racing TV and stuff like that. We only got 58 people in here, but I wanted to do something real quick because we also have some new stuff that we have as well, and in a collaboration with RC Racing TV. Here it is.
We're just about to watch the latest No Name RC podcast. Do you know what? Good news. You can now get NNRC merch from the RC Racing TV website.
Yeah, you can get hoodies, shirts, hats, and even pint glasses.
I'll drink to that. Head over to nnrc.rcracingtv.com and get your merch today.
All right. Yeah, we do have some print to order merch going on. More will be added as time goes on. I think the average time is about 7 working days to get your product. I know I talked to Jaden Edmonds. He said he was down in Australia. He ordered it. It took 7 days. We would greatly appreciate if you guys like what we're doing. You can go on over and purchase some of that. It also, I just want to see people rocking this stuff out. And also, if you are a YouTube member or Patreon, you get a small little discount to help you with that as well for your support. Consider becoming a patron or YouTube member and help support the podcast. Also, today we will be taking super chats. If you want a complete science mode geek out on Max, we're going to super chat that because that's going to cost time because that's going to take 20 minutes. Your super chats definitely help us out. We're also looking for a poll question. Could not think of one this coming up. So if you come up with a poll question, you'll get a free science mode geek out as well. That's what we're selling. Max's answers this week, today, right? So you want Max's time? You want a tangent by Max? It's gonna cost you a super chat or become a member. All right. That we greatly appreciate it.
I had one I thought about.
What
I don't know
was it?
which way to formulate it because I feel like Mayfield is in a slump, you know, judging from the early part of this year. But I'm interested in will he rise up for the Worlds or is this gonna be like the ending slump of his career? You know, kind of like
Dude, you want to go at Mayfield again?
I don't want to go too
live
bad.
in a row.
No. But I would like it to be like so that the viewers can answer. Like maybe the question should be, like, when will Mayfield make a comeback? You know, when will Mayfield make a comeback? This one's a good one too because this guy seems to be just winning every single race right now. Yeah, I mean, this one would be a good one. I'm interested to see what people think about Mayfield too, because I'm kind of like seeing the signs of a declining pro driver, but it's fucking Mayfield. So like I don't believe it's over until like I see it's over, you know?
Yeah, maybe we need a poll like that. We got Fee Long Win in there. I don't know if it's his dad or Phi or Fee. What's up, Fee? How you doing? They made the trip over to Neoland. Oh, hold on. Tony Paddleshow. He says, what's up, fellas? Keep it interesting. We are wrenching over her. All right, so I'm about to get into my weekend as well because, dude, I wrenched all weekend. But first, I wanted to say happy birthday to a good friend of mine, Larry Wright the Fourth. He's went 17 this year. He's been a big supporter of the podcast up there at Trackside. I got to hang out with him a little bit at Psycho Nitro Blast. He had a very good Psycho Nitro Blast as well. So happy birthday to him. If he's listening to LW4, we got Chemo in the house. We got John. So it's Fee's dad. And we got Michael Lee. But yes, all good stuff. All right. So my weekend, I did an all RC weekend. So I went on to Tony Paddleshaw, who just gave us a super chat. Thank you, Tony, for your hospitality, you and your wife. I went down to his house last Thursday, and I got a funny story. I'm going to try to tell it as fast as I can, how I picked up. So, you know, I'm geeking out on crawling, right? I'm geeking out on crawling, all forms of crawling. So I went down there to do a mini crawl comp and build this new comp chassis that I have. Now, I know you guys are like, Lefty, shut up. We don't want to hear about crawling. That's too nerdy for us. We're racers. Well, that's how I thought too, till I got into the comp side. And there's science behind this stuff and setup and going out there and testing your rigs and doing this type of stuff. So in the SCX, I would call it the SCX 24 world, the 24th scale world, which is those little small cars that Axial came out with, and then there's a 118 scale as well. So it's 24 scale that I'm gonna be geeking out, as well as 10 scale. So Turner's been doing this for some time, and he's building from these comp crawler chassis builders do drops on Instagram, right? So how they keep it interesting, they hype up their car, they produce a minimum amount of chassis. When I say chassis, you have rails, 3D printed stuff. Some have links. You got to build something from the ground up. No instructions, nothing like this. So they drop them, they sell out, they're gone. So this Nacho Supreme Pro was coming out, and Nacho is a very sought out after chassis, right? So I think I was at Beast of the East earlier this year, and it was dropping at 3 p.m. on Instagram, and me, Tony, and a couple other guys were all trying to get one of these. And it dropped at 3 p.m. EST. By 3:03, we couldn't get nothing. He had 100 chassis there, and this thing sold out like that. And they're like $100, 90 to $100, right? Boom. I like that. 2 minutes gone. Nobody knows who this guy is. Nobody's seen his face. You like, it's in the mini crawler world. There's a lot of content creators in it. It's a booming side of RC. But nobody knows who Nacho is. So we find out that Nacho is actually a racer in 8 scale, 10 scale, right? Knows, believe it or not, he is a fan of you. I wouldn't say a fan, but he appreciates you and JQ, Max. He's one of your 3 to 5 fanatics that you have in the USA. So he likes you. We got to meet him at PMB. He gave me one of these crawlers and a whole bunch of stuff to get it ready. So I want to say a big shout out to Nacho Crawlers. Thank you for that support. Thank you for enjoying the No Name RC podcast. And I'm a fan of what he does, right? And he kind of does it like it's his hobby, right? That's what he does, and he enjoys it, that side of it, and geeking out on that. So anyway, I get this crawler. I go down to Turner's house. Turner's like, all right, we're going to start building. I don't really know what I'm doing. I never really built one of these things. They're tiny. So he builds one part, I build one part, and then we spend pretty much 12 hours doing that. What's up, Camden? Doing that Thursday. Then we do it again on Friday. Then Christian comes over. Dude, we was just wrenching. Finally drove it. Stayed up. I went to bed early on Friday. But basically, I spent 4 days staying up late, wrenching, hanging out with my friends, putting these cars together, testing and tuning, trying different things. I want to say a big thank you to Attorney Patashaw for having me down there and helping me and giving me the stuff that I needed to finish this off. Also, a big shout out to Christian Martinez, who we all become friends because we're all racers. We all race RC cars, most of us, but we do the mini crawler as our hobby, right? At Turner's crawler course there. So Christian helped me. He was like, all right, Keenan. He actually is painting my body. So you guys can see the painted body. It's a hard body. It's like a Forerunner. It's called a Forchata. I know I'm geeking out, right? But just listen out. Dude, these little freaking things, Max, will go up stuff. You would be like, no way. Like, no way. Up walls, up this, doing this. And it just, we had a little Saturday comp where we had people come over. We all got our asses kicked by this guy with a motor on axle rig. So basically has motors on axles and he could just climb anything. But man, what a blast. Then we went 10 scale crawling on Sunday with my new Exo Cage Carbon X. That thing's like a tarantula. It goes up everything. So just a full weekend of doing RC, man. Staying up too late, wrenching, talking shit, going out to the course, testing, coming back in, trying something else. But I want to say big thank you to Tony. Big thank you, Christian, Bryson Dyer, giving me a body, helping me out, as well as Alan helping me out with some parts. We all came together, like just having fun. All those guys came together to make sure when I left there, like my rig was great. And I remembered what it felt like. That's like hanging out late with your buddies, wrenching, bench racing, getting like, you know, and all these guys are getting ready for the races this weekend because we're going racing this weekend on her in Florida. But that is part of the hobby that I don't get to do much, and I miss and I enjoy, even though it was crawling. It wasn't racing, but we're talking about racing, right? So we're talking about crawling, we're talking about racing, and just hanging out late with your buddies, enjoying fellowship of RC in a different way that isn't racing or doing it. Well, we was able to do it, obviously. So I had a blast, man. And if any of you guys out there think mini crawling isn't got science and isn't difficult to do, then you should try, get away from the scale type of stuff and get into the stuff where you got to climb up ledges and do all that stuff. It's a different feeling, and I love it, and I'm hooked, line, and sinker, my friend.
Yeah, I'm not much of a crawler, too slow for me, but I can respect the craft. You know, it's its own thing, but yeah. But
I mean, I get it. But I just had fun, even just being up, helping out, watching these guys wrench or wrenching a little bit. That's also the fun part. And I'll be doing that this weekend here at Mills Pond for the Florida RC Championship when I go race E-Truggy and look to take victory this weekend. That's right. Rookie class is in trouble this weekend. I'm dialed and tuned.
Are you
in.
racing rookie class?
Oh yeah, you got to start at the very bottom when you're in the e-truggy world.
Sandbagger.
Trust me, I have not won a race yet. There is nobody sandbagging because I have won not a race yet.
Maybe we should switch the YouTube poll to his Lefty sandbagging.
But in order to sandbag, I would actually have to win, right? I haven't won, and then I'm racing my nemesis, 8-year-old Paxton Helfner. What? That guy's got me 2 times now. Now I gotta beat him this weekend. So
yeah. Even Lance agrees with me.
Lance told me not to go and open because I'll just be in the way of everybody.
Hey, but Lance is the one just telling you to give way, But he's looking out for himself. He doesn't want to be on the mic as much,
Yeah, it's not sandbagging if you don't dominate the field. Trust me, I have dominated nothing. I'm not.
Yeah, what about the sponsors though? You have so many sponsors, right?
Hey, sponsorship doesn't equate to skill. Nobody's sponsoring me because I can drive good. Nobody ever accused me of driving good. I'm not sponsored because I can drive.
Okay, somebody's confirming. No, he's not sandbagging. Okay, I believe you. I believe you.
But yeah, rookie e-truggy. I feel like this weekend I might get on the top stat. So things are getting serious.
I mean, he should be in front of Danny though, right? Are you racing against him?
Dude, Danny's good. Danny can drive.
Yeah,
he is legitimately a better driver than me, but that doesn't stop me from trying to beat him.
Is he racing rookie too?
No. You know what Danny did? Danny left his e-truggy home, left his new crawler that he isn't going to be able to use home because we're going to crawl in as well. So he doesn't have a vehicle to run. I think he's scared. He's seen my pace.
I think he's scared. Yeah, that's like, bummer. I left my stuff at home,
Yeah. We're going, so Dylan, we're going on to the Florida.
Why you're being so hard on your boy, dude?
Dude, just because he's so hard on me. What do you mean? So
no, but I know that's what I mean. Like Lance is so hard on you
because he's team Danny Paz. He's all on.
He's team Danny Paz.
Yes,
so the game is rigged. The RDs on his side.
Let's just say there's been some nefarious actions by the RD at these races.
Sounds like corruption to me.
Hey, cars. Had my car almost put on fire. I've had bounties put on my car during practice, which nobody was able to collect because they couldn't take me off the track. And laps added, laps taken away, rough driving. Jesus, we don't even. It's not lies. It's all true, But we are going down to Florida RC Championships round number 2 at Mills Pond in Fort Lauderdale, iconic Mills Pond, where the iguanas are plentiful. Tony says that girl's got him forgotten his toys and his real friends. Talking about Danny Paz.
Oh, Danny has a companion.
He has a girlfriend. Yes.
Oh,
he doesn't live in Florida no more. All right. So that was my weekend. I'm looking forward to this weekend. It should be a good weekend of racing. And yeah, I don't know what else. I think we should we play a commercial and then go into some news that you have heard?
I think our news are brought to. Oh yeah. We haven't played our main sponsors. Commercial. So let's go with that.
Thank you to J Concepts for all your support. All right. Thank you to J Concepts for your support. The Reactor looks to be doing well. We're going to have some news about Reactor and maybe a grudge match coming up here shortly. Will be coming out soon. But also a big shout out to High Tech RC for all their support. Looking for top tier performance and reliability in your RC setup, High Tech RCD has you covered with industry leading chargers and service for both surface and air applications. Whether you're bashing, racing, taking to the skies, or the water, High Tech's advanced technology delivers precision, power, and durability when you need it most. From high torque servos to smart, efficient charging solutions, trust High Tech to keep you in control. High Tech, powering passion, elevating performance. Visit hightechrc.com today. You know what, Max? A big thank you to High Tech for all their support, but I think that's the first time I've ever read that perfectly.
Yeah, I was surprised because I'm usually I hear a few, repeats. That was perfect. Good job.
Quick. Somebody asked me, Kobe Rogers are going to Worlds warm up in a few weeks. You know what? I am very tempted to go. Very tempted to go. Very tempted. It's in the back of my mind right now, thinking of going to do some NNRC content and get ready for NNRC content in Worlds. Hold on. Chemo says something. Lefty, April 26th will be the last race on the current track location. Here, Keemon is bringing Paul Coleman. You should come too. Unfortunately, I'll be in Georgia that weekend, but that should be cool. So Bermuda's getting a new track where I, obviously where I came up. That track was started with me and a couple of friends racing cones around, and it's been there since I would say 1999-ish. And they're going to be moving it to actually a lot on the side of where the on-road track is. I don't know how far along they have come. I haven't seen no video or pictures of it recently, but that's a long time to be in that same spot. So good luck with the move. Paul Coleman was the first pro to ever come to our track back in like 1999 or 2000, one of those 2 years. You was probably,
I was born 2000, so
yeah, there you go. You was just not even a thought, buddy. All right, so Max, you lead us away. Let's go through some of the news here real quick. You have the Agama N2 up here.
Yeah. Oh wait. So here we go. So first one I have here is the N2. So Agama Nemo made a public release of the new buggy just before Neo. Actually, they had been running this since late last year in Taiwan. At least I saw a version of this in Taiwan, or pictures of it. I wasn't in Taiwan myself, but I saw pictures of people running this in Taiwan. And then at Montpellier, Hazelwood was running this one. I'm not entirely sure if Eric Likey, I don't know how they say it, but I don't think he was running this version yet, even though they have his body shell on this one. But they released the version then finally to Neo for the public, and they had it's only a few parts, basically shock towers and the shock mount on the arm that they had to change. So they and arms, I think, also actually. But they sent a replacement kit, or what you call it, some kit. There's a name for it, but I can't just think about it.
You're talking about the VRP kit?
No. The Agama, they haven't actually released a completely new chassis for the public. They have just released a conversion kit to convert the N1 to an N2. So that's basically the update on this one. And Eric Likey won the first round of the UK Nationals with this one, which is no small feat, to be honest. Like, I think it's pretty good result for him. And then they ran it at the Neo, which I think Eric made the main, but I could be wrong. I can't remember that right now. But yeah, I just wanted to take a look at this because it has a lot of the features that we've been very much talking about in terms of the Mayako laydown design, what was wrong with the initial N1 and what VRP ended up developing. Um, so basically, what they've done is they've gone the route of Mayako, with taking that to the extreme. So the original N1 used to have very short dampers, and they used to be placed on top of the diff box. But what they've done here is they've basically dragged that all down, even closer, basically lowering the shock position on the arm, and then attaching it still very low on the shock tower, I guess, but it's not really a shock tower; it's very small. So they've I don't think the geometry is actually that different in the terms of what the progression curve is or what the motion ratio is. But what is different is the shocks are much further downwards. They obviously it looks very different. And there's a slight difference in the shocks pointing more upwards, whereas the old one was very much horizontal. And as you can see, the center of gravity is clearly lower. And it follows that similar style as the Mayako LCG, but just to another extreme. I remember on the show we talked about the Ongaro version of this, which he ran at Montpellier. Um, Whereas that one was kind of like how would you say it was kind of like not a full-on lay down, but clearly like a lay down style. But it was not as extreme as Mayako. Well, this has taken the Mayako design to even more of an extreme. But I think overall this design is better than what they started with the N1, because of the fact that the shock is actually pointed more upwards. So there's more natural leaning characteristics on the car. And then you have lower center of gravity. So of course that's a positive thing. Um, but I think it still has the similar issues that the original one had. That the shocks are still very horizontal. The shocks are still very short. They have to run really stiff springs because the motion ratio must be to some extent at least small, or then the progression is very high. I would say for this case, probably the progression is higher than the motion ratio. Or like if you think of which is determining the stiffness of the car. And we had a comment from Joao Melo here that wouldn't the shock absorber so close to the exhaust be a problem? And indeed, I do think it would be a problem. With the Mayako, from what I remember, um, we did some testing with this, and actually the difference wasn't too big. We was expecting the difference to be really, really big and really substantial. Well, in the end, what ended up happening is it was not necessarily affecting anything. That's why, so the reason why it was originally brought up only as an e-buggy thing was because we was really concerned about the exhaust heating up the shock. But then I think Pecco is the first one of the first ones to try it on a nitro, and we didn't really find any disadvantages with it. So then we ended up running it. But I think with the Agama, the shock is even closer to the pipe because it's perfectly aligned where the pipe is. So I would say that this would have more issues. And the way I think Pekka and those guys did it, they didn't cut the body and they put aluminum tape all inside the body so the heat wouldn't radiate towards the shock. There is an effect for sure, and you have to try to diminish the effect as much as you can. Um, which, to be honest, I don't really see these the Agama guys doing too much. We don't have like good enough pictures to tell that. Well, actually, I'll bring it back up because here we can clearly see that the the shock is there on the. Wait, I'm really struggling to bring this up right now. So we go with this one. Okay. So we can clearly see from this picture here that the shock is right next to the pipe, and that's going to be 115, 120, maybe even higher degrees in Celsius. I don't know what that's in Fahrenheit. 210, 250. I don't know. Over 200 Fahrenheit. And it's gonna be right next to that shock. So it's gonna heat up the left hand shock much more than the right hand shock. And this is an issue with the Mayako. What Becca and those guys did, the body went over the pipe, and then when you put aluminum tape, the heat doesn't radiate to the shock. So that kind of helps with diminishing that cooling effect or that heating effect. But overall,
they're gonna have to put heavier shock oil in that shock.
Technically,
to compensate it.
Yeah, I think for the first 5 minutes or so, I don't think it will matter too much. And then after that, I think there is an effect. I think I remember when we initially tested shocks in front of the arm with the JQ and the early stages of Mayako with still the stand-up shocks. I think there was about 5-degree difference in Celsius between the two sides in cold weather when we was running for the 20-minute main. So there is a difference for sure.
We have a question.
Do we want to go into this?
So the question is from Lance. He wants to know, Max, why have we not seen pressurized shocks yet? This is a conversation we have quite a lot on our long drives.
Well, one of the issues is that to have proper pressurization, you will need to have very good sealing. And we do not have very good sealing in our shocks. So the issue with the pressurization, and I have talked to like suspension people about this, like that do suspension for full scale and stuff. And the issue with pressurization is that even if you get a little bit of air inside, then it just becomes an emulsion again. And the pressurization doesn't really work the way you're intending to. And then another thing is like our bladder shocks. The bladder is very rudimentary, and it really depends on the way you bleed the shock, on how the bladder sets in. So basically, you can have two shocks that have completely different pressure within the bladder if you just build them differently. So that's a big issue as well. I think now that we have those shock caps with the hole in it, what you technically could do is you build a shock, put the bladder in there, then you pressurize the cap with the screw. You can do it in a way where you just push in the shock shaft to a certain point, an exact point for that matter, and then you screw in the screw there, and then you have the very similar form of pressure inside. But even then, when you have the pressure side sorted out once building it, the issue will be that the seals are really bad, as I said before. So you will have some air leaking into the shock. And what that will do is you will again be turning basically into an emulsion. But the issue is you've pressurized the shock to not act as an emulsion, and the shock has a very set amount of, volume inside it. So when you put air in it, then you will have more rebound and all sorts of things. So that's why what I believe, that's why even the brands that run bladder shocks have gone away from the very soft bladder, because the soft bladder basically relies on the pressure difference. But the stiff bladder, it can hold its form even if there is a pressure difference. So with the stiff bladder, you can basically make the shock act as an emulsion, but have some benefits of the bladder, for example, in rebound and such, where you have the shock work kind of like pressurized, so you have some rebound, but then you still have the feel of an emulsion, which is very dull and not going through it. So basically, in the end, it comes down to manufacturing tolerances. I think it would be better in the end if you can manufacture it. But if you take an 8-scale shock, you pull the shaft halfway through and you wiggle the bottom of the shock shaft, you can see it wiggle millimeters. So like it's there, there's so much play in there that yeah, it's gonna really not work. You're gonna have some leakage in the shock at some point, and it's gonna really screw up your whole setup. That's my reason why I think it's gonna be really difficult to do, or even
Okay.
not be better.
Well, thank you. And Lance sent us a $49.99 super chat. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. See,
Thank you,
and
Lance.
you got to go into
I
science
got to go
mode.
full science mode.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Up next, you have the new Tekno updates to their cars. The new parts they
All
dropped
right.
last week.
Let me bring that up. Oh yeah, just to finish on
I had to
the
apologize.
no, just to finish on the Agama. I think they're making progress. Like, oh yeah, and well, I'll answer this Agama thing. That I think they are making progress. I think they are moving slower and slower, close to what actually. Because when they came out with the car, you remember I said on the show that, it's nice that they're taking a new look at how to do things, but it's going to take a while, and yeah, I think they're slowly getting there, and I think they will make the car work, at least on the European stuff, rather well with this new package. But yeah, just to for the follow up, that we need to have this system for sure, for sure. I think we have so much development to do in the shock fronts, and I think we're seeing some of it. Um, we even spotted. I don't know if you guys know Rager, a Dutch suspension manufacturer that manufactures a bunch of suspensions from rally cars to um, I believe they do short course trucks, they do Dakar rally cars, all kinds of suspension. I believe they're set as the leading shock manufacturer in the world, in some areas at least. But basically, they released a post that had an RC shock in it. And I'm like very, very interested to see if they've developed something like this. Because I think the pressurization side of things is something that RC manufacturing sort of quality control. We don't have that level of quality control. We don't have that level of knowledge and in materials and stuff to make that happen. That has to come from full scale where they're already done that. Then the sort of fine tuning stuff, that's something we probably can do. But the material side of things, in my opinion, is a tough one to get the sealing correct, to get the stiction correct, and all that. Because, like if you put a paper clip on water, it floats. But if you put a big iron rod on the water, it doesn't float. And that's because of surface tension and stuff like that. So even though most of physics works the smaller you get, some physics, the size of things matters. Okay.
But hold on. So I think I've seen pressurized shocks in the crawler world.
Yes, and in fifth scale as well. We have seen that, but I think the main difference is that for crawlers, I think it's more of a gimmick. Like 8 scale off road in, let's say, West Coast America, that's probably the roughest terrain you're gonna have in high level racing in RC. Like not a lot of these guys run anything special in their shocks. They just ran usually a small sized piston, usually with a few holes that are very big, and then a stiff shock coil. And that's usually the fastest because it's easier to maintain. To get the peak performance out of a shock that actually fits the conditions, it's so fine tuning. It's so fine tuning. So, and the thing is, we have found like a very good compromise through just years of iteration. And to have the perfect solution work, it needs a few years of iteration, maybe 5 years of iteration, and it's going to be more expensive. So that process is like really hard and difficult to come over. But then at the end of the day, there's going to be a better product waiting in the end. So I think that's why it hasn't happened, and that's why even though those people who take the challenge is going to have a hard time overcoming it. Yeah, and this comment actually is a good one. There's a lot of shocks in crawling and fifth scale that have this. They say like, oh, we have the piggy bag and we have this and that, but at the end of the day, it's just basically like a free bleed. And what they have is basically a little valve on over the, like on top after the piston. They have a little valve that's tunable. And this is basically what what was it, Alien shocks was. And there was this one brand that came out. Wally was running them. They have like this tunability to them, but they don't really offer anything new. They just offer a different way of damping. But yeah, this is kind of what we see a lot as well. You're on mute, Keenan.
I was saying, I remember their shocks that Wally was testing. They were like $700 a pair, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They didn't really offer too much difference. Like they didn't really offer premium materials. They didn't offer pressurization. All they offered was tunability through a small valve in the shock cap, and a sort of a two level oil placing. I don't know how to say that, but basically the oil went through the valve and then went to another place and so on.
Has anybody seen the SOTA shock system used? I haven't. I've seen cars that have it on there, and I've talked to drivers that have had it on there. I had the gentleman on her to talk about SOTA shocks last year sometime and understand how it works. But most of the people that I talk to that have used them do swear by them, and they do enjoy them because of the 3 different positionings of damping that they can kind of adjust within the shock. But
yeah,
still, all right.
I feel again it's another way to adjust damping. It's not necessarily changing the way the shock works inherently. It's just another way to adjust it. So basically, I don't know if people remember those. It's basically like you put inside the shock body this hollowed out like ring, and then it's like from the top it's like it has more displacement or less displacement, and in the bottom it has a lot more displacement, overflow or whatever you want to call it. And basically the SOTA is doing that thing in an adjustable way. So it's not necessarily changing the core issues that we have with our shocks, which is progressive damping and no pressurization, which I think is the 2 most core issues we have right now.
All right, cool. Because I think we could be on shocks for another hour.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Let's move on to the new
The
Tekno
Tekno.
parts that we've known about for quite some time. I'm gonna get another Coca-Cola, and I'm gonna leave you to this.
All right. Let's go. I think this Tekno one will be a bit quicker than the subject we was previously on. Jared Wiggins made a post about this stuff. So basically what this is, they've released a shorter shock body. So they've been running the short course front shocks, if I'm not mistaken, and then the old front shock bodies in the rear. But now they release sort of mid-size. So they have, I believe they have 3 different shock body lengths to be used at each end of the car. And with that shock shaft, obviously. The bigger change that they've done is with the suspension arms. So they've shortened the suspension arms to fit a wider hinge pin pivot in the rear. So this was a long-term um, sort of debate within the Tekno family. That because their idea was that they will have the longest arms, so they would have a car that handles really well in the bumps because the longer the arm, the um, less the angle of the tire is going to change. Because when you have long arm, you have less suspension angle change and less um, camber gain, all of that stuff. So the car is going to be in general more calm. The issue with that is though that when you have a really narrow pivot, that also affects how the car rolls. And when you have that, it's going to effectively make the car roll really stiff and fast. So you have very fast movement that's very stiff. Well, that doesn't really matter when it's low grip because you can just lower the arm and make that balance out, and you can just make the suspension softer. Now the issue again with having a very stiff geometry is that you will not have a lot of natural rotation. And we saw that at the Worlds in 2022. Um, that time around, Techno didn't really have a top guy uh, that we could see that the car was struggling too bad. Then in 2024, when Mayfield was on the team, we could clearly see, and Joao Figueiredo for that matter as well, we could clearly see that the Techno they didn't have it all together. They didn't have all the tools of making a fast car when you needed to maximize corner speed. Their car was good in America. They had been winning races with Mayfield for a while already at this point. Um, but they noticed that something um, was clicking in the European tracks, and like this is probably the biggest individual change that would help them in the European style racing. So having that wider pivot makes the rear end roll slower and softer. You can run the arm a bit higher if you need to gain some support. But the most important thing about this, you can use the rear end roll to rotate the car around these corners faster and exit the corners with more throttle while um, still steering the car. And yeah, that's basically what they've released: shorter shocks, lower center of gravity, less in travel, wider pivot in the rear to increase the rotation of the car, increase the corner speed of the car, increase the drivability of the car in high speed corners, especially, and like mid speed corners maybe. Um, and then what this does is because they were so far off the other end, they had so long shocks, they had so narrow pivot. It actually also helps them in America. As you could see, I think Seth Van Dalen has been really loving this stuff because he's been getting better and better and better since end of last year when they started running this stuff. So lower center of gravity with the shocks, that's going to help you in the bumps. Sure, you don't have as much in travel, but you're going to have a lower center of gravity, which is going to resist the car rolling over. Then you have that narrow or the wide pivot in the rear, which is going to give you more rotation. You're going to get out of those corners faster. You're going to have more speed in the corners. Uh, yes, your rear end camber gain is going to increase. Your rear end sort of stability might decrease, but you gain so much more in feel and steering and so on that it's a winning solution. And that's why most cars are running wider rear pivots that they are running front pivots. You can go look at any 10 scale, 8 scale buggy, and it's almost always the case in this way because that's just the way our cars in general work, that you need to have the rear end rotate a bit better, have the rear end a bit softer because we're going to be braking more than we're going to be accelerating, or braking harder than we're going to be accelerating. That's just the way it works. Yeah, that's basically the new stuff Techno released. Let me go to Jared's post. There was one interesting thing. He said himself that um, they actually wait. Where was it? Yes, so the new shock lengths have been tested and proven in all conditions, and they say that this is sort of a improvement in stability in all of these conditions. So rough, smooth, so on. And here it says that even they were surprised that actually they improved also in rough conditions, because their assumption was that more up travel is is the sort of key to having good bump handling, but it's not necessarily that when there's a lot of speed involved in high speed corners and such. So that's the Tekno updates. I think they should have done this 2 years ago, but better late than never. And I think they're just getting prepared for the Worlds. I think that's pretty much it. You're on mute again. I'm sorry, Keenan.
Yeah, I mute while you go on your tangents. So
Yeah, I know.
So we have a super chat of $4.99. Thank you very much, Manny Lopez. Do you think Mayfield's recent results have been to do with Tekno having test prototype stuff at the actual race day?
To some extent, I would be prone to guess this to be a factor. The thing is, like, we don't know if he's doing that. At least I don't. I don't know if like that is a known factor that's happening.
He was at PMB. He was trying a bunch of stuff.
He was testing. Yeah. One thing could be, so there's basically two options. One is that
I don't know what he was testing, because I obviously I don't know, but he was constantly thrashing on different stuff.
Yeah, so there's two options. One is that since these updates were brought, I think he won AMS, right? Am I correct? I think he won AMS last year.
While you continue, I'll look up that result.
Either way, I think he was looking pretty good end of last year. And that's when they was running these like sort of under the radar this stuff that they're now released. One thing is that since they've taken the car into a new direction, he has struggled to find a base, and maybe he doesn't want to go back to the old one because the new one is still technically faster and he wants to dial it in. Maybe it has more potential and so on, but he cannot get comfortable at these races, so he tries everything, and then it goes even worse because he cannot get comfortable at the race. So that's one possibility. So basically him like panicking about his setup, and he not having a good pace. Now the other possibility is that he only cares about the Worlds. Like 8-scale buggy Worlds is probably the only race he still needs to win, to have like won everything basically. So one aspect of this is he wants to try, because the thing is, for a pro like him to know where you're at in terms of speed, the only place to really do that is at the race. You go practice somewhere, the track's different. There's not a blue groove. The other guys, they might not be always running the best rubber. They might not be actually on their game. They might not be focusing, whatnot. Even though he go practice with the fastest guys out there, they might not be on their best day. But at a race, you know everybody's going their best. So he's using these races at the beginning of the year to see what each thing is doing and testing and finding his best self, and then he's going to take it all out at the nationals at Chico and then the Worlds at Thornhill. So there's two possibilities. One is he's actually struggling, and another one is that he's really looking forward to just that Worlds title. And to be honest, I don't really know. It could be either. I'm more prone to guess the first one, but also I'm quite certain that he will find his way in the end. So technically, maybe if it works out in the end, he can just say, "Oh, I was just testing everything. I didn't really care about those races." But I do think I do think you, as a pro driver, this is your job. You probably want to take those wins home because that's the way you make money. Like as much as you want to win the worlds, you want to feed your kids.
So I had a brief word with him at ONS after DNC, and he just basically said, just one of those races, and then I ran out of fuel while on pace to overtake first. So sometimes those type of things happen, right? PMB, him and Mason were brought in a good battle with Truck, but I mean, Fenn just played that he went out on that bar tire and was just faster than those guys and was going to beat them no matter what with the Joker lane. So maybe he's just in a slump, and maybe he's been able to fight out of those slumps a lot faster and still win. But now with the level of competition and how all these guys are getting faster, throw in a Rose. I'm not saying that he wasn't there before, but after that performance there at PNB, how good his car was, you can't have these slumps and still win. That comes to an end. So I do believe, from what I've been talking, so we talk about this, and it's funny because I was told an interesting stat about Mayfield here the other day. And he has over 200 wins in all disciplines in his career, and multiple wins in a lot of these races. So he has a lot of wins, and I understand maybe focusing on the worlds too, but I do believe between focusing on the worlds, having some bad luck, and then trying out a bunch of stuff, because that's kind of his job, right? Also to test a lot of this stuff. I mean, Tekno still has been winning and doing well. I mean, Seth Van Dalen was on the podium, was in the top 3 here at Psycho Nitro Blast, I think, in one of the classes. So they still have kind of their bases covered in that sense. So it will be interesting to see. And look, man, this, like, we're talking about a guy who's not coming to the end of his career, but you have to start thinking about that. It's going to come a point in time when Ryan Mayfield, when he chooses to, by the way, to not race anymore or race only when he wants. But I don't think we're even there yet, because
no.
He looks very hungry, because they had that extra practice session at Psycho Nitro Blast, and he was practicing. He was out there practicing and doing stuff. So
yeah, I think. Wait, where's the next World's gonna be? 2028. That's gonna be
back in Femke.
Okay. I think, and then 2030 is gonna be Europe then. So, or well, maybe if Famar can get their shit together, maybe in Famar. Yeah, I'd say he's got 2 worlds in him. I think he's got 2 worlds in him where going into the event, he is going to be one of the favorites.
After this one?
I'd say this and the next one.
Okay.
Let's say that I think he has the capability to be a pro driver for the next 4 worlds. But I think in this year's worlds and 2028, I think these 2 are, no matter what happens, I think going into these events, he's going to be one of the favorites. And then after that, it's going to be up to him if he can keep up that level. But I think he's like yes, he hasn't won this year, but he might as well have won DNC. If he got a bit more lucky, he might as well won DNC. So, and I think he'll win some race this year, most likely the Nats. Unless it's going to be really high grip, then I think Fenn will be really, really strong, just as he was last time when he was in Chico. But I think, I don't see him out of the game in any way. I just see him having a slump, and that's kind of what I think about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not adverse. I would agree with most of those points as well. All right. Somebody asked about Neoland. Now, I don't know if we're going to touch on that here in a little bit. I want to get through some of these topics that we have here. I know you was planning a whole show with Will that might come out once you guys got a chance to record, which might just be a EOS Neoland show because he's at EOS, so might be able to
let's see.
knock two balls out of the park with one swing. What's up, Travis RC? But we will touch on Neoland. Let's get right back to our next topic. Let's try and get through these pretty fast so we can take some questions. Remember, if you super chat us, you will have some extra questions. All right, so you have a new body by J Concepts. Kyosho releases the MP11E, and HB Racing is back on. Let's go through these, and then let's spend some time. I know HB Racing is going to be a topic that's going to take up some time. So let's get on.
So let's start with the body shell for the Kyosho. So this is going to be a pretty quick one. Basically P2 for the Kyosho, but I thought it was interesting because it doesn't look like a Kyosho. It just doesn't look like a Kyosho, and I think in some ways this also establishes that J Concepts is quite committed to Phi, because I think this is the first Kyosho body shell that J Concepts has released in a while. So them doing this body shell for Kyosho, and let's be honest, Phi is their only Kyosho guy that I know of. Sure, maybe they could be selling it for the masses, but at the same time, like, they didn't do too much stuff for X-Ray until they had like X-Ray guys on the team. So I'm thinking this kind of tells something for the future, and yeah, it doesn't look like a Kyosho at all, but it looks good. And yeah, I kind of wanted to use this body shell as a segue to our next topic, which is the Kyosho MP11E. So let me ring that up. I don't know if you had something to say about the body shell, but I mean, it's a P2. We talked about the P2 design before. Yeah, so Kyosho releases their e-buggy version of the MP11. By the way, just a small tangent. I don't understand why these guys didn't run the MP11 at the e-buggy Worlds. Like, you could see, when you went to the Kyosho pits, you could just see those guys didn't really want to be there with that old car. They was running the MP10E, old geometry. They knew the new car was good. They knew it was way better than the old car in that high grip. And you could, when you went to that part of the pitch, you could just see those guys didn't want to be there. They just really didn't want to be there with that car.
I'm surprised they didn't run a variant of this, right?
Yeah, like all it would have taken was a chassis. Like, get somebody to machine a chassis where you're running the MP11 front and rear end, and then you're running the MP10 center, for the e-buggy. But yeah, I digress, because now they released the new buggy, and lo and behold, it's a saddle. So I think this marks. I think Tekno is the only brand not to have a saddle, and I already saw some people running a conversion kit to run a saddle. So I think this is becoming the sort of it's the same stuff as in 10 scale. We had the saddle pack set up in 4-wheel drive. Everybody ran that. Then they went from the saddle pack to the shorty setup. So I'm basically expecting that to happen for 8 scale as well. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. When the batteries develop, we're going to go from saddle to, the battery on the other side and the engine on the other side. It's going to be maybe 5 more years. That's going to happen. But this is exactly what happened with 10 scale. Exactly what happened with 10 scale.
So you're just seeing it. It's like Groundhog Day. It's just coming around on a different scale.
Yeah, like, you remember when 10 scale 4-wheel drive buggies started to become a thing. Like, wasn't the first Associated made from their touring car? Like, wasn't the BJ4 basically a conversion kit for the Associated touring car?
You know what? I probably should know this answer, but I don't.
I'm pretty sure that was the case. That most of the 10 scale 4-wheel drive cars that came out in the early 2000s were from the touring cars, and a lot of them were like they had the battery on the side, like they had on the other side, just like touring cars did. And then every brand went to having the batteries in the pack with the saddle pack, and then when Yokomo, I think it was either Yokomo or Durango or some brand ran this setup where they had the motor on the left hand side of the car and the battery on the right hand side of the car. And now you look at any 10 scale 4-wheel drive, they looked at that way. So this is my prediction. I said this like last year already, but that's exactly the way it's going to go for 8 scale. But yeah, basically there's not too many new things on this. It's the MP11 front and rear end, looks good. The center part of the car is a saddle setup. Although one thing I do want to say that I find pretty, let's say, interesting is that Kyosho uses this steering bell crank. The mounting for the steering bell crank is in the center of the car instead of on the side of the body. So they're able to kind of have everything neat and tidy within the center line of the car. And then you have the ESC on the outside of the servo instead of like the Mayako and S-Works and HB and pretty much all of the cars that I can think of right now have the servo like horizontally in the car, and then they have the ESC behind it. Why I think this setup is actually a bit better is because the motor is heavier than the servo and the ESC. So the motor is like 280, servo is like depends, but like from 75 to 90, and then the ESC is like 150. So to have the same side to side balance, you have to have the stuff on the right hand side of the car a bit more outwards, and this basically does that. So I think this is gonna be sort of the go-to layout in the future. I would maybe want to talk it a bit more in, but yeah, I think this is gonna be the go-to layout when it comes to saddle pack cars in the near future. But yeah, we had a few comments. Yeah, Long says, or I can't remember his dad's name, but I think it's his dad commenting.
John.
Quick change sensitive, and that's good. I don't want to be too arrogant, but it's about time. It's about time they had that at Gear Show, because I remember I don't know if MP10 had that already, maybe not. But I remember at least the MP9 was like you had to take the whole thing out and disassemble it, and yeah, associated when I was running that, they had the split thing, and it's so easy, so nice. But yeah, Nick says, isn't Tekno already what Max is talking about? Motor one side. Yeah, this is basically the touring car layout. So this was the layout that the first e-buggies was. The first e-buggies had this. So the first JQ buggy, HB, S-Works, Tekno. Tekno was obviously the one that made the conversion kits for all these cars back in the day. I don't know if people know that, but Tekno used to be a conversion kit manufacturer, and then they made their own car. Do you remember that, Keenan? Like late 2000s, early 2010s.
Yeah, they made a Tekno conversion for the JQ car.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, so basically all early, well, not all, but a lot of the early e-buggies were basically the same layout as the Tekno is now, and then some of them transitioned to the Mugen style, the old Mugen style, where the battery is on the side, and then the center diff is like basically it's similar to the 10 scale layout, but the battery is like on the center of the car instead of on the rear of the car. And then people came out with the saddle, and now we're here. Everybody's in the saddle, and yeah, I think we're going to the 10 scale current 10 scale style with the motor and the battery next to each other at the back.
Sweet. I wanted to say a big thank you to Chad Roberts for the $10 super chat. He says, "Keep up the good work." There you go, Max. See, you're doing a good job.
Thank you, Chad. And Chad actually asked a question I wanted to answer. Because I made a video about this. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out, about the Reds engine. I think that with all the top guys, because they was
Read out
they
the
said
question.
that. Oh yeah, sure. So, 321, the Estremo from Reds. He says the boots times for last weekend at the Neo were crazy fast. Oh wait, I don't know which event he's talking about. But either way, some event, a boot. He's fast. Lap times were crazy fast, and he was running the 321 OS based engine from Brett's. So what after that video I released, I looking at the results from Neo, them taking double podium. In some ways, Reds is kind of shooting themselves in the foot, because when they released the engine, they said, "Oh, this is great for America. We need an engine for America, and that's why we're releasing an OS-based one." Well, now they go to Neo in Europe, and they run at the European races with that OS-based engine, and look at that. They have really good fuel mileage. They have no issues with the engine tune. The drivers do better. They run faster down the straight. So I think slowly but surely this is going to kill the European-based Reds that we used to know by running the OS one. But I mean, either way, they're building good engines, so who's caring? Who's caring about that?
All right. So are we done on the Kyosho now?
Yes, I think we're
on?
good on the Kyosho.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go to the HB. I think you have actually more to say on this than I do. The HB.
I mean,
acquisition.
let's bring up the acquisition here of HB. I don't really have much to say about this, because yeah.
But do you have it?
I have it right
Okay,
here.
good.
Let me see. Let me bring it up. So I first saw this on Circus RC. They were the first one to post it. Actually, it's a French company, a French person that's purchased it. Hope I can read this with my glasses. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to read Red RC's statement that they pasted up here. It says French-based 1080 RC has announced that it has acquired the HB racing brand under CEO John Fiat. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Who formerly known for his work with Mugen Seiki, Kyosho, 1080 RC will bring back the one-time leading competition brand. 1080 RC is an international design manufacturing studio specialized in consumer goods and small autonomous and remote-controlled unmanned vehicles for industrial, leisure, space, national security. We have an innovative approach from design to production. Corporate headquarters, along with the main distribution facility and product service center, are located in Europe and Asia. Then it goes on to HB's statement. It says HB's racing brand is today transitioning under the 1080 RC's umbrella, a newly formed and growing European startup specialized in the engineering and manufacturing of consumer goods and small autonomous vehicles. A group of founder investors and manufacturing partners led by chief designer engineer Fabian Simonelli, CDO of 1080 RC, managed to save and to take control of the brand. When we founded 1080 RC, we sought to install a culture of high quality products and users first in mind, and always easy to be tuned. So we will fuse this philosophy into HB's racing brand as quickly as possible. Right now, HB Racing brand has a good product line to work from. allowing us to be knowledgeable and additional values from our existing RC department. The first words of Chief Engineer is, that were the first words of Chief Engineer, Design Engineer, Mr. Simononi, CEO and co-founder of the company, John Fuerte. I'm hoping I'm saying Fiat. I don't know how to say that right. We are delighted to announce the acquisition of the brand with strategic development and growth in mind. Our chief designer and product team combined decades of experience in the RC industry and in racing. Therefore, we are excited to expand into the RC hobby market, knowing that HB Racing's brand already has a great foundation to support the next chapter of the brand. So if anyone is who's in love RC cars, RC racing, who love the passion of winning, wants to be part of the future of the brand, please contact your local distributor and dealer. Those who want to be a part of the HB's Racing brand distributor family. All right. Yeah. What do you want me to say about this?
Well, I don't think we're getting a cease and desist this time. So at least I hope so.
We'll see how it goes, I guess.
I think Roach said it the best.
Yeah.
Shit. Here we go again.
I mean, it all sounds good on in the announcements and stuff like that, but here's the reality of the situation. The HB brand is not competitive. No, I shouldn't say sorry. I'm sure it's capable of being competitive as any other car on the market at this moment right now without a problem. Does it have the amenities of more modern cars that people want? Nope. Has it lost the lure that it once had? Because I remember one time HB car was all you needed to get victory. It's all that's gone.
Yeah.
All that's gone, and it is since the slow demise of HB over the last few years, there's been a lot changing in RC. So they have to, one, get a car that's back up to modern standards, I would say, and gain the trust of people. Not to mention how they kind of screwed over a lot of their drivers, their pro drivers here at the end of 2024. But there's still people that run the cars. I see them at tracks.
Yeah.
I see them at races. They're coming few and far between. But unless they have a bunch of money behind them and they're going to push this hard and do what they have to do, it's just another chassis on another market that's already flooded with plenty of chassis.
Yes, but I think the difference within this is that there's still people running them. There's still people who have parts for the car. There's still people who think it's a great car.
Not enough.
Parts were there's parts that the part quality is good. And they have they have that sort of world's winning nostalgia to a lot of guys. You know, it's not like let's say Ming Yang. Okay, we all know. Well, we all probably don't know it, but Ming Yang is basically the new HB. Hong Nor and Ming Yang. Those are the cars that most closely resemble an HB. But people are not rushing out to buy those. They have all of the qualities of an HB. People are not rushing out to buy those cars. They're going for a Spark.
People ain't going to rush out to buy HB cars now either. I'm telling you. It's
no,
too much.
But I think
if they don't have the structure that they once had, which they don't have anymore, especially over here on the USA side of things, they ain't going to sell nothing.
Possibly. But at the same time, these people, the Verte guy, he was involved with Mugen Seiki Europe. He was involved with Kirscher Europe. He's been out of RC, to my knowledge, for a while. But I'm sure he has contacts all across Europe. From what I know, I was obviously much younger during the time that he was involved. From what I know, he was a bit of a divisive figure in a lot of people's minds. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure he has people that trust him and want to do business with him. The designer guy, he's been involved with other brands before. Simeone, or I can't remember his name. And I don't think it's a doom thing. I think if they play their cards right, it has potential. And I think the way they wrote that they are building autonomous vehicles, blah blah blah.
Basically, they're making RC cars.
Yes, but I think what they're trying to do is to go for that EU money.
Right, so they can get those
like X-ray.
Yeah, like sort of like how remember that so that carbon RC stuff that I went to and did some work with a few years ago, like hydrogen powered cars. It's not about the RC factor of the thing. The money is coming from the hydrogen. We want to produce push the hydrogen agenda. So that's where the money is coming from. Look, man, I don't know what's gonna happen. I know there's some very loyal HB loyalists out there left who have a lot of parts and are just holding on to these parts as much as they want, so they'll be happy. But will distributors and dealers want to deal with them? I don't know what Absolute's going to do over her. I think Chad Phillips is no longer working for Absolute, or that's what the rumor is, that he's not working in the industry no more. So I don't know what the stance will be with the team manager side of things in there. I wish them all the best.
I don't think they need to get any of the old people back. I think they just need to start. They need to have the product and then just start fresh with.
Well, you know what? I'm kind of like on Roach on this. Roach? Why should I care about HB in this day and age? Because for a person like Roach, and maybe other people that are coming in, Roach has been around a little longer. He wasn't around for the HB heydays, right? Just like a lot of people weren't around for the Kyosho heydays, right? Even though they were a lot longer.
Yeah.
So they have a fucking big mountain to climb, and good luck to them. They also have a history of repeat doing this over and over. Now it actually seems like it's signed. They actually didn't resell it to themselves like they've done in the past.
Yeah, that's the difference.
So they've actually resold it to somebody else. So let's see what happens there. And I'm probably going to get a fucking cease and desist anyway. Way for just mention it.
No, but the thing is that it's not. Basically, they're just buying the name and the IP. None of the structure exists. Everything is gone. So they're buying the name and the car.
So they're not buying none of the molds and none of that stuff.
Oh, of course they buy that.
Okay,
but I'm saying that they're not buying the team managers. They're not buying the team. They're not buying the distributors. All of that is gone.
They're starting from scratch. Good luck to them.
Yeah, but
good luck
basically what they're doing is they are getting a ready, proven car and a brand that everybody knows for a rather low amount of money. You know? I think it's a good deal. And I think with the mindset they have, it might actually work. Because the thing is, like, this comment says that they need to update quick access diffs, captured hinge pins, updated suspension blocks, and so on. They make new molds for diff cases, and they're done. That's one investment, and they have a fucking winning car, you know, that has a good, like a nostalgic name at least. And
it's not going to make a difference. I guarantee you, it's not going to make a difference. It's not.
I disagree. I think it might.
Okay, that's fine. You can have that opinion. I just
no. It's
time will tell. We've seen this happen many times before. Thank you, Robert Kuntz, who never fails to give us a super chat. We greatly appreciate it as well. I'm just laughing at Roach's comments here. Roach is not in. Thank you, Robert.
Why is Roach so against HB? What's going on with you, Roach?
Because he probably came up. He probably came up in a time of RC where you had to have a HB and they were the cool kids and stuff like that. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Well, that's gone.
It is gone, but the thing is, like, if somebody brought back like
are There are a lot of HB the same as Kyosho, but Kyosho still made a car every year and had parts.
Yeah, okay. Let's put it this way. Tamiya has pulled out of racing like 100 times. Sure, Tamiya is a different level of a brand. They pulled out of racing like 5 times now. You know, they always pull out and come back a few years later, and people still fucking worship them. You know,
because it's not because of racing; it's because of what they have.
No, but even the rate, like, have you seen how many touring car racers are excited about Tamiya?
Because it's just the same as the vintage people, man. Listen. I didn't get the vintage side of things till I went. It's like me, like I like gas truck, right? I like gas truck. I got to race it her recently, by the way. I love it even more. So it's for a lot of people on the vintage side of things, they're reliving the just laughing at Roach's comment. It's not hate, Max, it's apathy. They're reliving a time. So maybe these guys couldn't even get these cars when they were a hot item to race, but now they get a chance to race these cars. Now they get a chance to race these cars on a track that they probably dreamed of racing, just like the gas truck. So that's why I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Right. Just like the vintage guys. That was the biggest class at ONS. And I think they're about to be the biggest class as well. And all these guys are like, they need to sign this champion. They need to sign that. They need to have an infrastructure first. They need to have parts and people available with parts and people to manage that. You can sign all these names. If they don't have that, I don't know what the future of HB is going to hold. I'm gonna withdraw my comments before I get a cease and desist from France.
No,
once again, for something I haven't even said.
No, but it's a different. If the fucking it was Neidhart who sent you the cease and desist, you know. And I feel bad talking shit about Neidhart because the guy got a heart attack from how much HB sucked. But
that was bad.
Yeah. But
I'm just covering my bases here. I'm just covering my bases.
I mean,
here.
we're just as likely to get a cease and desist from like WIRC than we are from these guys.
With you behind the microphone too much, we will get cease and desist.
Hey,
from everybody.
No cease and desist to this day. No cease and desist to me. It's only you. But
it wasn't even me who said anything.
Yeah, but you're guilty by association, dude.
I know. What if Tyrone and Lord Gord Tessman bring back HB?
Why are you calling him Tyrone?
I started calling him Tyrone. That was his own ego. It's like, Tyrone Tessman, about to show up here. Because I was calling the races, and I said, I'm going to call you Tyrone. Like, that's your alter ego. I'm an idiot.
Well, no, I don't think that's going to happen.
See, you're good at eating and attacking weirdos.
I feel like 90% of Lance's comments is just getting at Lefty here.
This is what I deal with.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. So, Max, just for the record, any litigation, any type of suing that you want happen, send it to this man right here. Send it to Finland.
There.
In Finland.
I don't think there's civil court in Finland. No, there's not civil court in Finland.
X-Attack. So Tamiya makes so back to my topic about why people like Tamiya, and that's part of this. Tamiya makes uncomplicated and fun touring cars that people can afford under $200, while a race TC costs $800 or more. And you know what? They look like real cars, right? So there you go.
No, they brought a competition touring car back.
Well, maybe they could run real looking
like Sota
bodies
what
on
was his name? Sota Gota? What the hell is his name?
I don't know what
he made the main at TITC.
Oh yeah, I really paid attention
with
to
the Tamiya. Yeah,
great.
Sota Goto, it's something like that. His name is. He made a main at TITC with the Tamiya. Trust me, dude. People love their like brand.
Just like they like their vintage cars.
Somebody brings back like a Thunder Tiger. People are gonna be like jumping on that shit just because they remember like Debo running that piece of shit back in the day. You know?
Especially the one with the shocks that went through the arms. Oh, and the tunnel chassis, biggest. That was one of the most anticipated cars ever, and was one of the biggest flops ever.
I remember people like saying it broke down every single race.
Well,
something.
that's when we thought that having a stiffer car was everything you needed. So it like had a whole chassis brace down the center. Then they had to come up with a whole different it was not. It was probably one of the biggest. No offense to Richard Saxon, because I know he's in charge of it, but it was not a good car. Took a lot. All right. You know what? Let's play some commercial breaks and let's get into Neoland and some questions. And we're not going to go hard on Neoland.
We don't have anything on Neoland. I'm sorry. I didn't do notes about it. I have the race in Thornhill.
Yeah, but not too many guys showed up. But I saw you wanted to geek out on something there, so maybe I'll give you 5 minutes.
Okay.
Hold on. If you want Max to geek out on what he saw at the warm-up race at Thornhill, give us.
Oh, it's not a lot. Just play the stop trolling at it. Let me.
We're selling Max's time today. I gotta utilize it properly. You know.
Stop scrolling. You wanna be Lewis Hamilton? Learn something new with invisible speed. You can't do everything at 100% maximum speed. You have to be smooth. I mean, when you drive a real car, if you drive a real car, how do you just, when you get to a 90-degree corner to turn into the parking lot, do you go like that with the steering wheel? Do you like slam on the throttle and the brake? No. You probably turn the wheel smooth and get on the throttle smooth. Same thing with an RC car. If you want to learn more and make your speed visible, stop scrolling!
Are you looking to take your ride-on car to the next level? ML Toys makes it easy with plug-and-play modifications like motors, speed and brake controls, and more. ML Toys is the one-stop shop to make your ride-on car the coolest car in the
BeachRC.com, the racer's one-stop online hobby shop. Choose from all the popular brands and variety in stock with super fast shipping and great customer service. BeachRC.com still has the local hobby shop feel with all the benefits of the internet. BeachRC.com is the exclusive distributor for Ultimate Racing, S-Works, Pro Circuit Racing tires, Nitro Lux fuels, and Assault RC performance products. So fill up your cart and check out at BeachRC.com today.
Tekno RC. Tekno RC is a championship-winning manufacturer of high-performance A-scale, 10-scale, nitro, and electric RC buggies and trucks. With a worldwide dealer network, USA and Europe-based headquarters, comprehensive warranty program, and global race support, Tekno RC is excellence in RC. View the full lineup of Tekno RC race-proven vehicles by visiting www.teknorc.com.
That's right. Thank you to all of those companies that support us. We have links for them in the written description of this podcast. Some you can save some money. Some you can't. Some we make a little money. Just let them know you heard about it on the No Name RC podcast. All right, Max, what's your next topic here? And then we're going to do a little bit of Q&A. And then, I don't know, man, if you don't make enough super chats here, we're going to have to, I don't know. We're going to have to find something else for you to do to make some money here.
I'm gonna go wash the dishes. Okay, we're gonna very quickly touch on the Texas shootout because there's gonna be there's gonna be at least 2 races at Thornhill. So
you have the Lone Star race
and the
coming
World's
up
warm up.
Well, yeah. I think this is I don't know if this was considered the World's warm up or what, but some are calling it that.
The next race that's held there be the world.
Well, they built a new they built a new layout which nobody wants to get rid of because they like it so much. Number one, right now, but they're going to build a new layout for the Thornhill race coming up in about 4 weeks' time. I want to say.
Yeah. What is
less than 4 weeks.
Europeans going to that one?
Yeah, I think
That's what
Ronnefalk's going. I would be surprised if guys like Canas didn't go and a few other Europeans didn't go. But I know for a fact that Ronnefalk is going.
I think Ongara is going because I remember talking to him at the e-buggy Worlds, and he said he's going at least once.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. They would be foolish not to go over there and get some laps on the track.
Yeah. Let me see. I think there was a picture of the track. People said they liked it.
Oh, that people love this layout apparently.
Let me get it on the screen. So
I saw it too. I liked it myself.
I only have this picture from the G Concepts blog.
Christian says Polito is going as well. So
yeah, I'd imagine. I imagine they send the Matrix team. Oh, Keenan, we got a few more tangents.
Thank you, Thomas Kitchens. He says Max Mort super chat. There you go, Max. You are almost safe from finding some other type of employment tonight.
Thank you, Thomas, for that.
Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah, so this is the layout. I mean, it's from the end of the track, so it's not too good a picture. Much simpler than what they had at the Nationals. Maybe a bit bigger jumps, I'd say, but more flat, less like, like the backside of the track isn't as crazy. So it looks good, but also I think that the track looks very different. Like at the Nationals, it was like very, it looked very grippy. You had dust on there, but you had that sort of more like polished surface, like sticky. But this looks like just straight up blue group,
I don't know. It looks. I saw a brief video. My brain, I can't remember because I've seen a lot of RC since then and all. I almost want to say that the surface reminds me of like when Rifkin won it back in 2016 or 2017, where it was very highly polished. You said it looks blue group, but it looks to me like you got another super chat.
Yeah, the people love me, dude. Thank you, Robert.
Trust. Thank you, Robert. That's 2 super chats for Robert. He also bought some NNRC gear as well, like one of the first people. I think that it was, I could be wrong. Maybe I know Thomas is from Texas, and I know there's probably some guys in her that were possibly at that race. But to me, the video that I saw briefly looked like it was that polished, drifty style track surface that I've seen at Thornhill before.
This one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So because at the Nats it was like a little sticky,
Yeah, it was a little more greasy. I want to say it was a little, maybe a little bit more. I don't know the word to use for it, but it didn't look like this. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like this is like nice to drive on. It has a little bit of give. Yes, you have the dust, but it's not that big. Because the National was basically like you had a lot of grip on the line, and the cars looked like very edgy. And then once you went out on the dust, it was just out, So I think if it's like this for the same. Worlds, I think it's gonna. I think the line, easier for you guys.
Yeah, so the line looks a little bit bigger. Obviously, if you get off that line, you're gonna be in that dust, and it's gonna be a holiday on ice.
Yeah.
But if it's drifty like this, oh man, it's gonna be. I don't know. Look, man. I don't care what layout you put in there. If the track surface is like this and these guys can carry corner speed, it's going to be hard to beat Europeans on this track.
Yeah, I think luckily this track is a bit more like 180-degree corners, 90-degree corners. So I think that's going to be easier for the Americans. But if it's like switchbacks and high speed, like sweepers and stuff, the Europeans are just going to have a field day on that.
That's just our opinions. I know somebody's going to get triggered here. But if it's like that, when I saw that track, I was like, oh my goodness, Ongaro might win for world championships. That's the first thing that came to my brain.
Yeah, if it's like this, no doubt he has a chance. Like just imagine how freaking fast he's gonna go to the end of that front straightaway, like
and just be like
all that. Yeah,
there we go, a little bit of drift,
and then with his like gyro finger, you've seen the video of him like, it's like so gentle on the throttle. Oh, he's gonna be like, he does that thing when the track's slippery enough. He like slides in the rear end already into the corner. It's such a beautiful thing to watch. And he's
And
like
just
fucking
finds
half a
traction.
second
And it's
slow.
just like,
yeah, just somehow like
all
he
right.
has a fucking traction control in his hand. Dude's insane when it's slippery like that.
Yeah, it's so. What did you want to talk about more? Sorry, we went on a tangent, but we went on a Euro tangent just now.
Yeah. So pretty much the only thing I wanted to talk about was Fee actually was able to win a race. Like, I feel it's kind of sucks for him because this is the race that had no coverage. The people weren't really there.
You mean a nitro race?
Yes, exactly. Like a nitro race. Yeah. He won e-buggy too, but I mean, like, he was actually able to hold it together for a main. His stuff held it together for the main. He absolutely fucking smoked these guys. Like, let me bring up the results for the main. So Fee won the race by, let me see. Because Fen finished second, if I'm not wrong. I'm pretty sure Fen finished second, but the scoring doesn't show him with all the laps. So the laps are 36. Okay, so he won by around 10 seconds over Fendt, 20 seconds over Fuller, and then over a lap over Lutz and those guys. B-Rose was totally lost. I don't know what went on with him. But Fendt actually TQ'd, and then Fee like just dominated. Like, Fee's fastest lap is like a half a second faster than anyone in the field. Like, Fee he smoked these guys. And I think that's a bit scary for guys like Fend, who won the Nationals last year, who's usually pretty good at the tracks like this. And if he comes there, smokes you. Obviously, we couldn't see Fee's format at PMB because he was at Neo. But judging from this race and the form he's been on all this year, like, I don't know, like, Fee could be looking good. I mean, we're gonna get more answers when it's the warm-up race or whatever, in a month or so. But I mean, when I saw he won, I was like, damn, okay, that's pretty good. And then when I looked at the lap time, I was like, all right, we got something going here. Because Fee wasn't too strong at the Nationals last year. He was a bit struggling, but you remember he was running the MP10 back then. They were still running the old car for the Nationals, if I'm not wrong. Wait, am I wrong? No, they were.
No,
they
they had the
absolutely were
MP11.
running.
They had the MP11.
You think so?
Yeah, because they had it at Wicked Weekend. They might not. You know what? His dad's in her. Maybe he'll let us know. But they might have had the prototype. I don't think they had a full production. So, but you know what?
I could be wrong. But either way, it's a good run. It's a very good run.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Fenn may have not had a good warm-up race here, but he had a damn good PMB.
He did. He looked pretty damn good. One thing though I do want to say, Fuller, I don't know what it is with Thornhill lately, but he's not looking too good.
I have no doubts. I know this Nationals wasn't the greatest.
Yeah, and here, if you look at here, like e-buggy, he was like 5th. Probably something happened to him. Here he was 20 seconds off Fee. Yeah, he qualified 3rd. But he was clearly the 3rd. Like, yeah, see, they was running the MP10 at the Nationals. So I think now with the new car, maybe they can let us know. But I think with the new car, you saw it at Wicked Weekend, and then I think towards the end of the year when they had like smoother tracks, the MP11 is clearly better on tracks like that. That could be the biggest difference. And J-Concept's tires are clearly pretty good. They didn't have any hot race guys now here to like challenge them. But then again, I don't think there's any top American. Oh wait, Fend is on Matrix. What am I tripping? Fend is obviously on Matrix. So maybe that could have been a difference in the main, different tire choice. But yeah, no, I think Fee's good. Fuller, a bit shaky, but he still has time. It's not over yet. But those are the two things I wanted to bring up. That although Fuller, by statistics, is probably the top American, At the same time, I think Fee is gonna be one. At this point, I'm expecting him to go into the Worlds as one of the favorites from America.
Okay, all right. Well, that's a
It could
bold statement.
change. Yeah, we're
It
still
could
way
change.
out,
It's a bold
but
statement.
right now I'm getting more and more confident in that.
Okay.
But
Before I go on,
we
that,
did have a few super
had some-
chats. I
so
think
we
that's
did-
what you was gonna go.
yeah. So a big thank you to Justin Turner for the $9.99. We do appreciate it, Justin. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, it doesn't have a
And-
comment, but I'm pretty sure that was for me. That was like because he loves me so much.
He is a fan of Max. That is for sure.
Oh,
He's
really?
a good
Okay,
friend. Yeah,
I
he's a
was
good friend of
kinda-
mine.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Mitchell barked. Excuse me, I just burped. Oh, excuse me. I
sounds like
apologize, everybody. Mitchell actually has won 2 items in our e-ticket competitions on Elite RC
Damn.
Productions, and he's an X-ray driver. He won an X-ray, and I think he won I don't know what he won last time, but he won recently here. But he says 1/8. Thank you for the $9.99. We greatly appreciate it, Mitchell. He says 1/8 scale world is going to see a lot of 10 scale guys doing well this
100%.
year. It looks like a giant indoor 10 scale track.
100%.
That's why you can't.
Totally.
I'm surprised more. That's why. So Aiden Horn was like, "I'm not going to do the worlds." I'm like, "You should do the worlds." Like,
What?
yeah, he qualified, and I'm like, "Dude, the next time you got a chance to do a worlds at home in America, you might not." He made the final at the nationals. I'm like, "Why wouldn't you do it?"
Yeah,
So
what the hell?
I convinced him to do it, and so he's gonna do it. And
But wait, did he run at PMB?
no, he just came. He came to do commentary with Elite.
Okay, why didn't he
Because
race?
his focus is fully on 110 scale.
Okay, I can respect that. I can maybe respect that.
Right, but he did. He's going to run the nationals, and he did
He
make
should.
the final.
He should race. Like,
I agree.
even
with
if you don't race 8 scale full time,
that's actually a
like,
good poll question. We're going to put that up. You go ahead.
even if you don't race 8 scale for full time, like, you can practice for the worlds for like 2 months, go to the event, and actually do good. We've seen it before. Like, we've seen some of these 10 scale guys practice for 2 months and actually do good at the 8 scale worlds. Kara was one of these guys last time out in Redovan. Like, he basically raced 8 scale for 2 months and made the world's main. Now obviously he's transferred a lot into 8 scale. But no, dude, it doesn't he wait, he doesn't live near Texas though, but if he lived closer to Texas, I think he should do it.
Somebody actually put a poll in her while we was talking.
I did it.
Oh,
about Mayfield.
Oh, all right. So
do we
I
have
didn't even
answers for
realize-
that?
We do. So I do apologize. I didn't know you did it, but it says the question was, when will Mayfield rise from his slump? He will be there for the world, says 28%. This is the end, says 27%. He's going to be
Damn,
back
alright.
next race, says 24%. And he will be there for the national, says 21%. That's actually pretty almost
That's
equal
close.
stats over that.
Yeah.
So-
Wow. Okay.
wow.
So basically, around 3/4, 3/4 believe he will be back at some point. 1/4 believes this is the end, and wait, most people believe that he will be back before the Worlds. You know.
Well, the biggest thing was he'll be there for the worlds, 28%.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, yeah, I would agree. I think people are kind of in agreement to what we spoke before. I am pretty sure. It sounds like that, I think.
All right.
That,
Well, you know what? I am putting another poll in there saying, should Aiden Horn race the 1/8 scale world championships this year? So we're going to put that in there. That's a simple yes or no. You can do it there.
Yeah. I think the end result of this poll is gonna be we should send this to Aiden Horn, that whatever the poll says he has to do.
All right.
Yeah.
Pretty adventurous pick there. Not adventurous. Wouldn't it be a good story if he did win his first big nitro race and it was the Worlds? Like, how awesome would that be?
Yeah, that would be. I mean, there's a lot of races to go before all of that happens. Like, there's Wicked Weekend, which you pretty much almost won last year, Nationals, and well, the World's warm up, he could win that one as well. At least 3 big races he could win before. So even though he might win the Worlds, I'm not gonna say that it's gonna be his first big win.
Oh yes, okay. Sorry, there are races that he can win in between her and there. That is true.
That's what I mean.
That is true. I saw that Lap Paradise. I have no idea where that is. I'm wondering where that, because him and his dad travel quite a world, quite a lot.
I think Lap Paradise is in Asia.
That's what I was thinking. So I'm thinking that maybe in Vietnam there or something. So we'll see.
Malaysia.
Right, they're going to the ABC race. That's where they're going. That's
yes.
Not this weekend, but the following weekend. So they're probably just out there practicing. That's what they're gonna do. Man, I want to go over to Asia so bad. All right.
That's a good question, actually. I want to answer.
Well, you know what? I was about to say, let's wrap up this part and let's get into some Q&A. And we would definitely like to get some super chats or new members in this. But Nick CNC, go ahead, Max, read out the question and give him an answer.
Yeah, so it's a great question. Nick says that it seems like with 10 scale worlds, we get these out of nowhere winners occasionally, Hodgson, Tata, etc. And has that happened with 8 scale worlds? And it indeed has. Believe it or not, we had 2 in a row, Hara and King. Both of these guys were at the time sort of out of nowhere.
Greg Degani.
So when Degani is, well,
nobody was expecting Greg Degani to win the first world championship for Americans.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I think when Guillaume Ray won it,
that was a shock too. Nobody knew him.
Really? Because I think he was the guy who everybody in Europe was waiting to win. Like he was basically like he had won everything in Europe. And same with Pavidis. I feel like he was towards the end of his career. It was a shock when he won, but everybody expected him to win one at some point. Same with Ray. Like he won towards the end of his career, but everybody expected him to win.
Who?
But I think
Guillaume
Ray.
Ray.
Yeah. So I think Degani in 2002, Hara in 2008. So if like before, this was one of the first 8 scale races Hara did, right?
I don't know.
HP wasn't too big of a brand that I know of at that point. And basically they wanted to have one of their top guys go and run it. He was a touring car guy before that. He had barely raced much off-road. And he went over there and won in 2008. Then in 2010, Hara was the clear favorite because he lived in Thailand. That was his track, basically. Then obviously Mayfield, Thibaut TQ'd, if I'm not wrong. I think even Cavalieri, people was expecting Cavalieri to win as well. Nobody was expecting King to win. I don't think anyone was expecting King to win going into the event.
I would agree with that. And I don't think anybody expected Ongaro to win in Australia.
No. I think at least Europeans expected him to win. Because 2018 was like the year he dominated.
Well, hold on.
Everyone.
Yes, actually, he won Neo that year. That set 2017. So yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe 2018 he was like everybody expected him to win. Maybe like I'd go even that way.
But if you look back on the winners, like I think Kanai was a surprise win in 2002. I think he was a surprise win.
2000.
Degani was a surprise win. Because that was the year like Chad Bradley could have won it, Richard Saxon should have won it. And then Vray, I think everybody thought Quartz was going to win it because Quartz was like them guys are still hot, like Saxon, Bradley, Pavidis, Degani. All them guys are like the top Americans at the time. That was when the Americans kind of started being on top of the world championships. They had just won one, they were expected to win another one.
Yeah.
And then Pavidis won.
No, but I think it was in Europe. It was in Sweden, and it was a very European style track.
Oh, I remember because I was going to go there.
Yeah. But I think Ray really he was one of the ones to win it. So yeah.
Okay. But it's been a while since we've had a surprise, right? If Ongaro wins it this year, it's not a surprise. If Angaro wins it, it's not a surprise. If Canas wins it, it's not a surprise. If Mayfield wins it, it's not a surprise. If Fenn wins it, it's not a surprise.
I don't think Fee would be a surprise either.
I think Ronafog is going to win the Worlds.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be a surprise either.
No, it wouldn't. But for a man who doesn't like these type of style of tracks, he does damn freaking good on them. Just like I said, don't doubt the man at Neo, and look what he done. He was one of those shit. So.
Yeah, to be honest, like I think Hartson is the most out of the pocket one. Even Tater to some extent had proven he had pace. But Hartson was like so out of the pocket because he was starting like 7th on the grid when he won it in Chico in 10 scale.
Unfortunately, it did 0 for his career in RC. Kind of like Tater.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think he faded faster than Tater. I think it was like 1 year after the Worlds he was out.
I don't know. All right.
Yeah, there's a good comment, but I have a rebuttal to this. Oh wait, it's a different one. If Ongaro wins this year, he goes down as the best 8-scale racer of all time. That's what we said before the Worlds before. I think. I think we already said this at 3. So with 4, I think we're way past this point.
He's definitely a damn good driver.
Yeah.
So Greg Carey. Have you guys talked about the new top 25? I don't see how Mayfield moved in front of Fee. That's how the algorithm spit it out.
I'm trying to think what races were happening 2 years ago. How is PMB 2024 for Mayfield?
He won it.
Yeah, so I don't really understand how Mayfield would get ahead. I think what happened was Fee probably had a good result in 2024. Or then
go ahead.
Yeah, or then because they have this recent races thing as well. So maybe there's a good result for Fee that has dropped away from his recent results. And yes, he was 7th at Neo. But in terms of the ranking, 7th is still quite bad, like for Fee. Because usually in America, he finishes 3rd, So, yeah, I think that's what happened. I think, to be honest, I'd have to look at the points to go through it. But yeah, I don't, something like that must be it.
Here's a surprise. Ben Pat says maybe Polito would be a surprise. It would be a surprise if he won it. But I would also be like, he's as fast as he should. He's fast enough to win one, right? Does that make sense? But it would be a surprise.
Sure.
But he's definitely fast enough to win one.
Yeah.
And Justin Witzak. Honestly, the money is on Runabout. X-ray and high traction is like a perfect combo. I think so too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Roach has been savage today. I really hope Ongaro wins just so I can see people try to spin it that it wasn't a real win because a high grip track. Yeah, we know that's going to happen too. All right. Well, we're going to hold on for a few more minutes for some questions. If you guys have any questions, and then I think we're going to call it a wrap because I'm going to take a little nap. And then I gotta be ready for 7:30.
Yeah, you still have one more podcast to go. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we go. Here's a question.
We don't.
Jason with Wint. With many RC guys getting older, popularity of vintage 10 scale being harder to see than 8 scale, do you think an 8 scale 2-wheel drive is in order? Like a 1/8 girl pan has scale looks great shows. Oh, you mean like a scale looking 2-wheel drive buggy, kind of like what the RC10 just came out with, like that type of buggy, like something that's functional but looks like a buggy? That would be fun. Max, you have no rebuttal for that?
Wait,
you missed out on the question.
Oh yeah. No. I was lagging out in my head. So
I know that feeling.
2-wheel drive 1/8.
So basically, like a
I mean,
upscale 10 scale buggy, 2-wheel drive buggy.
I don't know.
I don't see that happening, but it will be fun.
I don't see that happening because it's going to be so difficult to drive. The thing with vintage cars in 10 scale is that they're actually easier to drive than the mid-motor cars. And I think that's part of the reason why some of the guys like it, because it's easier to go, like easier to drive. It's easier to go around the track with the vintage car. And I think it's more about that than anything else. Like it's the same thing with Truggy. Like what is the reason that Truggy is more popular, e-Truggy especially more popular in the East Coast? Well, maybe not more popular than e-buggy, but gaining a lot of popularity. And I think there's because it's more expensive. You have less parts availability for them. In basically every single way, it's worse. It's also easier to break a Truggy than a buggy. The only thing better is easier to drive. It's easier to drive, and
Hey.
I think for people that is the difference maker.
Hey, I have not broken anything on my Truggy.
You don't go fast enough to break it.
Still going strong. Nothing has been broken. We did the annual diff and shock oil change on it about
annual
at the end of last year, right? And it's still going strong. How dare you talk about e-Truggy like that? E-Truggy is very fun and does not break, and you can run on shit tires.
But am I not right?
No, you're wrong.
I'm
100%.
I'm right.
You know you're not.
I think
No.
buggy is cheaper and more available, better class overall, except for the fact that it's more difficult to drive.
Max, no, you're wrong. Just face it, you're wrong. E-Truggy is fun and does not break. It just if you hit a pipe, if you're gonna break a Truggy or a buggy. Hold on. We had a question here. I wanted to answer it. Oh yeah, Nick CNC. Did you see Rarlo is coming out with a race e-buggy? I did see this on Facebook ads. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know where I saw this. I thought it was AI generated, but they have like YouTube. I gotta go Google this because are they using like YouTube celebrities to race these things or what? I'm not sure. So do you know who Rarlo is or Rarlo or?
No, I have no idea what this is.
Okay, so they make a lot of ready to run stuff, and apparently they're making like a race e-buggy class thing. And I don't know if they're handing it out to. I saw like Tom Lee RC and like different YouTube personalities. I don't know what they're doing. I just briefly glimpsed at it, and now that Nick CNC said something about it, maybe we can Google it. Let me look up here. You talk while I Google.
Yeah, Google it because I couldn't find it quickly. I actually had I opened Facebook just briefly here to look at what I had there on, and I saw something released by J Concepts, and I know some old RC geezers are gonna fucking love this, but I think this is one of the most hideous things I've seen in my whole life.
What is it? Jesus,
I'm gonna bring it to screen because this I have to, like I just saw this, but I have to talk about it on the show because all right, let's take a quick look at this.
Oh wow.
So I don't know how to get it bigger, bro.
What body is this from? What buggy ran this? Who ran this body?
It's J Concepts body. They just
know
released
that.
it now. It's called. It's
What
called
is a flashback?
A flashback?
Like did a car look like this
No,
before?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just
Oh,
a
okay.
brand new thing. Let me see. There's the press release. Dragonator D2 design all cab concept. Yeah, I don't.
You know what?
Wait. Oh, 2000s Dynamo.
All right, so it's based off of a previous body.
It's based off of the Dynamo. I don't know what the Dynamo is.
You know
But
what that looks like? I have no idea. It looks like a helmet.
Wait. J Concepts Dynamo. What the hell is a Dynamo? I cannot even find it on the Google search. Early 2000s Dynamo. I'm baffled by this. If anybody knows what this Dynamo thing is, but this is basically what the old bodies used to look like in 10 scale.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. It's capped backwards. I think Eddie says it the best. Instead of hatchback, it's just shit. No, but this is what people have been wanting. And the funny thing is, like this was basically what the low C body looked like when they came out with the ugliest cab forward body. Let me actually bring that up. Oh, it's a reference to my videos. Blob car. Have you watched my Max's what is it called? From the ground up? I did a deep dive on the history of RC bodies, and this is a blob car.
I'm sorry, I must have missed that one.
Yeah,
you know how much I hate to miss your body videos.
Wait. I don't know what the Dynamo is, but Low C22. They had this tool drive buggy with the cap backwards body show. This one. Let me bring this on the screen. Oh wait, this is terrible quality. I have to get it. Wait a second. Why can't I find a good quality picture of this?
I don't know, probably because it's a long time ago.
Yeah, that would indeed make sense.
Pete says, "What's up, guys? Thank you for the 1999 super chat. It looks like an old B4 body."
Yeah, exactly. Right? I think it looks exactly like that. Wait, let me get okay. I think I found a picture of the Losi I was talking about. So it's giving vibes of this Losi. At the stage.
But not as I see what you mean, but not as it doesn't have like the.
It's basically the same style.
Yeah, same style, but doesn't have the actuated helmet on it almost.
What you mean the helmet? Oh, well, I guess I know what you mean. No, but I think
Hey.
it just needs time.
You, Mr. Captain, I'm all about arrow. If it works, then it doesn't matter what it looks like.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. I when I first saw it, I was like, damn, like this thing really
So
is something.
Team 11 MRC says they have a version for the B7.1 and it looks better on a 2-wheel drive version.
Yeah. This is the
So
TLR. Let me see. Dragonator B7. Did we have a funny? Skywalker didn't fly in that. Oh, is it like a Star Wars reference?
Yeah, Luke Skywalker is in Star Wars, by the way. Maybe
No.
character.
I mean the Dragonator. Is Dragonator a Star Wars reference?
No. Maybe it's like a helm. I don't know.
Wait, but they haven't released. The B7 one. I guess it's still like Florida people. Really, you people think this is uglier than the Losi? I think the Losi is worse than this one.
Hey, if that
Okay,
thing makes your car handle good, nobody's gonna care about what it looks like.
Let's see. Team
Well,
Associated B4.
enough about that. We have a super chat question.
Okay.
Steve Wellington says, "Thank you for the $10." He goes, "Thoughts on the new Infinity 8 scale E buggy? Do you have pictures of that at all?"
I do. Actually, I did a chassis focus on it.
Oh, that's right, because you was at the E buggy
under the hood.
Worlds.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Hood Infinity.
Nick at CNC says,
let me
"Anything's
dig
better
that
than
up. I
the
hope I
OG
have it.
DEX." I have a Durango, old school Durango 4-wheel drive that has a alien looking body on it.
Oh yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah,
The old
really
school
flat.
Durango stock body.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
Thank you, Steve Valentine. We did pretty good on the super chats today. Well done. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate that. So Max is going to go to a deep dive on his thoughts for the super chat question by Steve Wellington.
But I don't know if
the
they
Infinity
change it,
Evo.
so I should.
Maybe.
Oh, they just released the B7 one. Sorry, Steve, but I'm gonna have to show them the B7 one of this weird looking J Concepts body. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm a bit slow on this one. Before I go into the Infinity car, I think this is better. It looks like a spaceship.
It
right?
does look like a spaceship.
What is a Dragonator? Dynamo. What is this?
You know, I don't know, but I'll ask Jason. I'll ask Jason Runner tonight.
But Jason is kind of like I don't know. Can I call him a geek? He seems like the type.
He's definitely an RC geek.
He seems like he's definitely a geek, RC geek. I think there's something. There's something like in this that we don't know about.
Yeah, I'll ask him tonight. Remind me to ask him tonight, people, when we have him on the INS show.
Because this definitely needs an explanation. I'm not too bad. I'm not too offended by this body design. I think there's room for all kinds of bodies. Okay, we don't discriminate here at the NNRC.
Matthew Scott Martin says he loves it.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is what the anti-cap forward people have been loving, and yeah, I'm gonna get up a picture of the B4. But first,
And
we're
don't
gonna
forget
talk
our
about the
super chat
Infinity.
question. I'll look for the B4 body.
Yeah,
You do
that's
that.
the. That's. Yeah, because the super chat was about the Infinity. Why can't I hear? So they released it beginning of March, so about a month ago. Well, we have pictures by Red RC, so I'll bring those up. Yeah, Pete says that I'm not a geek right now or the body. I definitely am. I love different RC bodies. I've been geeking about touring car bodies, but I really can't explain much of them because I don't race touring cars. But I've been looking at them. I've been actually loving the the hypercar touring car bodies. All right. So let's talk about the Infinity e-buggy because I think we missed this on the show. So probably the coolest thing that I saw about this when we was at the Worlds was their battery tray design. Yes, you guys can see this. So the battery tray is carbon fiber, so very light. They have velcros, and it's incredibly adjustable. So if you can see like how much different positions you have on this, how many different adjustments you have on this. This is what you need. I'm not entirely sure. I believe even that you can move it from side to side. So you have these holes here. I don't. It's not very visible in this picture, but I believe you have these holes here where you can switch the location of the battery side to side and longitudinally. So you have like a very small window of it, or like a large window of adjustments with very small increments. So you can get really precise in that. I remember when JQ and Pekko was testing this on the Mayako. Um, it actually makes quite a big of a difference. I mean, the batteries weigh what 450 grams, so it's a what is it, a sixth? Yeah, a sixth of the car weight almost. So it's a big percentage of the weight of the car. Um, so having this amount of weight able to be moved around is a big benefit. And the thing is, you're not changing um the center of gravity. You're not changing like wheelbase by doing. You're not changing really anything. What you're changing is the weight bias front to back and the moment of inertia side to side. Um, which is actually an interesting topic because back in the day we had these narrow cars. Today we have these modern cars that are much wider. We've kind of gone away from the narrow thing because we've accepted that we need some moment of inertia in the roll because our reflexes are only just so fast. Like we can't be like full scale. You can feel the car roll, but in RC, you can't. It's so quick. It happens so quick. So sometimes actually more moment of inertia is better, and that was showed by Pekka and JQ. They changed the design I provided them with by putting the batteries wider, and they said both of them said they liked it that way better. So yeah, I had it narrower, they made it wider, and they liked it. And this is the coolest thing about this that I noticed immediately about the car. They have this what I talked about before with the Kyosho, where they had the servo longitudinally here, and then they had the steering arm on the inside. The steering arm position doesn't really matter that much. Only thing is that you get the hole in the body, which is never a good thing for airflow and stuff like that. But the main difference is the servo location. So you have the Speedo ESC behind the servo, whereas in the Kyosho you had it on the side, which I think is better on the side if you can make that happen. And then apart from that, they did have a very cool motor mount at the early stages of prototyping, but they have gone to a very standard style in the end, actually. So they had like 3D printed metal, which is really, really cool. Yeah, I think it was a bit of an underwhelming e-buggy. Front and rear end are obviously the same as they had for the Nitro buggy. And for the center, I think the battery mounts are the most interesting part. But as we went through at the early part of this show, there isn't much variation in the e-buggies right now. One thing I'd like to see, now that we have a good from the top view picture, I'm gonna zoom in a bit. One thing I'd like to see is, as you can see here, the drive shaft, center drive shaft, a center line in the car, and then you have in the front you don't have this, but in the rear you have the chassis brace attached to the center point of the diff box. So most of you guys, when you have a car at home, most of them have, or at least the old cars had the chassis brace attached on the side of the diff box and to not the center of the car. In the front, a lot of the cars have it on the center, and then it goes to either side, depending on if it's an e-buggy or a nitro buggy. Usually it goes from this side, so it's attached to the center, and then it goes to the sides. But in the rear, a lot of the cars have it attached on the side, and then it goes to the side. And you can feel it is in your hand. You can take your car and push the car like this, and you can feel the car like twist sideways. Like when you push the front and rear end in, you can feel the whole car twist sideways. So basically that means that the flex is completely asymmetrical. And as we all know, flex does prove quite a big of a change in the handling of the car. And I have designed myself, and I haven't had a chance to test it out yet, but I have designed like whatchamacallit, the chassis brace that attaches to the center here on the diff box, and then also attaches to the center of the chassis here. So to have a chassis brace like that, you're going to have much more symmetrical flex. So when the rear end flexes, it can be flexed the same way to both sides. And it's going to be like, what I believe on track, what's going to happen, it's going to be more consistent because you don't have that weird twisting motion, and like you can feel it in your hands when you try with your own car. It's actually a pretty major difference. And with the e-buggy, it's really easy to do because all you have to do is make a chassis brace where you have a hole in the middle. In Nitro, it's a bit more difficult because we have the engine, and the engine is hot, and the chassis braces are plastic, and to make the chassis brace not yield under the stresses and the heat is going to be a difficult task if it's really close to the engine. So it's going to be more difficult for the Nitro, but completely doable for electric right now. And I think a chassis brace is a better solution than a top brace like we have in the I think at least the S-Works has these, and the Mayako has this sort of top brace system, which I don't think is the optimal system. It's a workable system for prototyping and such, but I don't think it's an optimal system. So that's one thing that I sort of remembered when looking at this car. But yeah, from the Infinity, my thoughts mostly is that the battery tray is nice, having that adjustability, and the layout is pretty clean. No radio box like the Mayako, and a pretty lightweight design. But apart from that, it's similar to the Nitro, which I think one of the big issues I remember even JQ said this, that the rear arm hinge pin mount attaches from the chassis. So if you race an abrasive surface, you're gonna wear out these screw points really quickly, which is a major issue for like hobbyists who have to spend money on chassis and stuff. Yeah, that's that for Infinity. I kind of went on a tangent, but I think it was a good thing to say. I think that's going to be one point of sort of blind spot for a lot of these designers, the chassis brace thing.
I never thought of that, but now that you talk about it, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. So I did bring up the B4 picture that
perfect.
Pete says that body reminds him of, and it does. Let's bring it up.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. That exactly like that.
Let's see if I can.
Only difference with this one, I feel, is it doesn't really have the fin, and then on the J Concepts one, the sides go downwards instead of here. They sort of sweep up like the P2 that they have, that they run at the World. So you have those sides that sweep up like that. Yeah, but this is the cab backwards body that we used to have, and people say that the cab forwards ruined everything, the car's still so ugly, blah blah blah. This is what we had, and I think now when we look at it, it looks ugly because we're not used to it. I do have to say, I do think the RC10 body is pretty cool, but anything past the B3 was not pretty.
Awesome. All right. Well, we came to the discovery of what the mystery body looks like. Mitchell says it's a Proline. He believes it's a Proline crowd pleaser body, and the B4 body looks more realistic, like a cross cart. Okay, cool. We got 96 people watching too. We've had 100 people watching this whole time. Aha, Paul Wynn tuned in. Tamiya inspired. You know, that's what Tamiya car looks like. That then. You know, we have a good interview with Paul Wynn coming out here shortly. In-house interview where I went to J Concepts.
I'm trying to Google that now. What is a dynamo? It said dynamo on the release.
Max has been trying to figure out where the name Dynamo came out. Now, I have a weird story about where I think this is Dynamo. And I know it's completely wrong.
They have a Dynastorm.
Avante. That's when I saw this. I thought about the Tamiya Avante too.
They have Dynastorm.
So it does look like a Avante body. It looks more like this, the Egress. Holy crap, Tamiya's got some cars.
Tamiya has so many freaking cars. Yeah, they used to be the brand back in the day, right? Well, Kyosho, obviously. I wish somebody brought. Can you bring it up on screen?
What, the Avante? Yeah, I can.
I have.
This actually has
I
a
have
guy in
picture
it.
of the Avante. Yeah, they have a driver in it. You know, I when I made a video of the 8-scale bodies back in the day, I think when Monesi, I think it was Monesi, won the Worlds, his body shell had a figure inside it. I'm not 100% sure, but because I didn't find a proper picture of it, so I could see the guy. But I've seen pictures of that same body shell with the guy inside.
So this is the Super Avante. Let's see if I could bring it up. Hold on. Because I have a few pictures here. Super Avante. Here we go. Sorry. Let's bring it up.
Yeah, I have all the pictures I can find are very grainy. It's gonna be difficult.
This might be the closest
Super
one.
Avante is not as cool.
But it's similar to
Super
this
Avante,
body.
Yeah. But I like the Avante more. But yeah, we can take a look at the Super Avante one.
I have the Avante. I have the Egress here that looks like it even more.
Oh wait, now I find a good one. Now I find a good one.
So here's the Super Avante.
Yeah.
All right, I'll remove that, and you can bring up.
Yeah, the Super Avante is kind of like the old one, but this is like a really, really cool one. So that's the standard Avante. Yeah, I couldn't find a good picture from elsewhere, so this is from Reddit. But let me do this. Yeah, okay. All right, now we're almost full screen. But yeah, I think this type of body shells where the cars look almost like, Formula One cars. So you have this sort of spaceship style front frame. You have these huge, what look like cooling ducts. Then you have like this very shaped front end and like a very sort of aerodynamic look. We need to bring back body shells like this. I think I love this type of design, and I think the RC10 was like a off-road vehicle. This is like a formula vehicle that's going into the off-road. And then I think when it was like B4 era, so mid 2000s, early 2000s, all the way up to the cab forwards, I think that was the worst era of body shell design. But the 80s were the peak. I think the 80s were the peak of body shell design. So yeah.
Oh,
I like this, but we had a good comment. So you wasn't really fired up about the Avante. I noticed.
what's up, One Pit Shop? How are you? He says, working in the shop while listening to you guys. Invisible Seed, a chauvinist and a feminist walk into a bar. And then I think he's soliciting you for some body design. Mayako needs a new body and wing. And then this one,
Yeah.
Polwin, there has been a discussion regarding IFMAR. Has there been a discussion regarding IFMAR is saying there will be zero tire sourcing at the Worlds, and they will be using a chemical tire sniffer. This is going to create some drama. That is for sure. I haven't heard this.
Yeah,
but I know
but there are. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Me?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so there are actually tools to measure, like chemical content on the top of the tire, and this was a thing back in 2012, I think. So Pro Circuit, I was running for them at the time, and Burak Kilic was as well. And the German Federation, they bought one of these machines, and they had found that Pro Circuit tires, when they came out of the bag, were caught by this machine. And they straight up banned Pro Circuit tires from their races. So that was crazy at the time.
Well, maybe
I don't know
technology's
why
better
nobody.
now.
No, but I'm pretty sure they used some kind of additive after the molding or during the molding. I don't know when. I'm pretty sure they did. But the thing is that the German rules banned it, and the officials thought that this is like we don't, even the manufacturers cannot do the additives themselves, which is crazy. And I think that the machine can still, like, no matter at what point of the life of the tire you do it, like the machine can still see the chemical changes in the surface of the tire. And there's this one guy on Discord, the NNRC Discord, who is a chemical engineer or a chemist. I don't know which one. Sorry if I'm calling the guy's profession wrong, but he's been talking about this a lot, that you can do a lot by chemical sampling, and there's these machines that can really dissect the chemical structure. So I would not at all be surprised if this becomes a disaster. And I don't know if they've used this tool before. Yeah,
I mean, so
that you can read out what Paul said, because I think that's
Paul said that Thornhill posted, IFMAR has stated to us that any use of tire source applied anytime or location will not be allowed at the Worlds. Well, I can see that there will be quite a lot of kerfuffling going on. People are going to be pissed.
Oh, for
off.
sure.
This, you know what? And Invisible Speed, I assume is JQ. Maybe this World's disaster.
Who else would it be?
And we finally get control tires. So they have to they have to do this on other races. I believe in 2023, the World's in hobby action, people want to source, and there was a lot of strict rules about that. But I don't know.
They had control tires. They had control tires at hobby action. I don't do. Yeah.
I don't
know. Open
know.
tires, there's no way to police this. No way.
Good luck with it. It's going to be interesting to see. because it's gonna be a headache. That's all I gotta say. So, because I don't think they even tested for this stuff at Redovon, like at all.
They never tested for this. No, the
Not
rule,
that I know of.
No, the rule has been different before. The rule has been that you are not allowed to use additives at the track location in the premises of the track.
Right, we talked about this, so you can do it afterwards. Elsewhere.
Yeah, you can do it at your hotel, but basically the point of the rule is that the reason why we ban additives is because they could become a health hazard because of the smell and the chemicals used. They could become a health hazard at the event, especially indoors. But they decided that we cannot actually control if anyone does it outside, so there's no point in making that rule because they cannot control it. So what they thought in Europe was that we make a rule that says that you can do it if you really want to do it, but don't fucking bring it here. You know, we don't want to see you doing it, but if you do it and nobody knows about it, we don't give a shit. And that was the European, interpretation of the rule. But now that we're gonna have the first ever indoor worlds for 8 scale, not indoor under a roof worlds, it is going to be different. The sourcing is going to make a much bigger difference under a roof because the surface is going to get much more polished. The rain and the wind and so on is not going to wash away the oil, so the grip will be purely like chemical grip, not necessarily like pins and abrasive grip. It will be like adhesive grip. I talked about this before, and that's when additives really make a difference indoors. That's the biggest one that they have. And I think JQ is absolutely right. I think it's going to be a disaster. I hope they've tried the machine on some tires, and I hope, because you can calibrate the machine to something. Like, you have to calibrate the machine. So are they going to calibrate the machine so that all tires that are like pre-packaged are passing the thing? So basically that would make it so that tires that have used additives after they've been molded and shipped from the factory is going to get caught by the machine? Or are they going to make it so that they would catch every single residue of some sort of additive, oil-based additive on the tire? I'm not a chemist in that front, so I don't really know how the machine works and how they will able to do this, but I know for sure that there's some form of calibration in there, and the way they calibrate it is gonna make a difference. So if they have a loose calibration, what's gonna happen is some sauce doesn't get caught and some sauce will. And then the difference becomes that what is the penalty? So if somebody gets caught using sauce tires, is it going to be an outright ban or is it going to be a DQ run? Because if it's a DQ run, what you're going to do is you're going to try all kinds of different sauces in all different ways and see if any of them pass. And if some of them pass, you know you found the right one. And then from there on, you're going to have a huge advantage knowing which sauce actually gets through the tech. So it might be an absolute disgrace in the end.
Well, this is another good question. What about people using brake cleaner, Simple Green, to clean their tires? What about people using Simple Green to clean their tires?
Yeah, I mean, but I would imagine they would measure a center point of the carcass. I don't know what kind of machine they're using. I haven't seen the machine. I have no idea what the machine is like. But I think they should for sure test it out before the race. They should for sure have all of that stuff done at previous races to see how it works, how to like calibrate it and all that stuff. Because this just calls for a fucking carnage, like this type of shit. Like
It's gonna be bad.
It's gonna be worse than Target at the Lost Worlds, for sure.
think so.
For sure, no doubt.
Max goes, for sure. Not my
No, but
A.
think
not-
about it. Like,
I look, look. I already
Yeah.
can see what's happening from afar. I don't have to worry about it. Not my decisions to be made. Way above my pay grade. I would hope that they rethink this, because just allow it, and then you would allow just either have a sauce that everybody can use, a spec sauce, or just let it go, right? Because you might get false read, and someone might use something else to clean their car tires, and then they get that. It's just, and there's no control of the tires, so people might be using tires they used. I'm just using an example. Someone might have used tires they had from a previous race there. Who knows?
Yeah, and think about this.
You
have
might
a
get
tire.
tires. You might get sauce on your tires from the sauce that's in the soil.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, think about this. You sauce your tires, run a few laps at your home track, leave them out dirty, wash them before the event. They have the softened sauced rubber. Is the machine going to pick that up? You leave them unwashed, all dirty. Is the machine going to pick that up? You know, there's so many different variables, but that good preparation and moving in the gray area can get you around. That is, it's going to end up being a shit show, and then all of what sauce can get through the machine. So I'm going to say this: there's when you have an environment that is not controlled, and when you have a tire that's not controlled, the only way to make it healthy, safe, and fair for everyone is have a spec sauce. Like, have a sauce that everybody uses. And here's why. When everybody uses the same sauce, what ends up happening is other sauces are less likely to work. Because if you use a different tire sauce, different chemicals are not always like likely to stick to each other as well. So when everybody uses the same one, what ends up possibly happening is that only that one works after that. And then also, if somebody uses a different one, you can immediately smell it with your nose. So I think that's the only way to go about it. But I don't think they're going to do that, because it's not going to happen. It's going to be a shit show.
It's going to be a shit show and a half.
Yeah, and this is
over a
Okay, go ahead,
decade
go
of
ahead.
racing with the sauce in the dirt, and they use a chemical to bond the dirt. I can
and listen.
Then they'll be mad when we like, oh, the focus is all on the drama.
Yeah, why is it? I wonder. But this is funny because we use the fucking craziest shit. So I know people use liquid wrench, people use WD-40. Here says they use sunscreen. So imagine your pit man just put a sun lotion on him, goes around your tires like this, checking that the diffs are working, and you get caught for saucing. Oh my god!
But it will be.
Thank
our
you,
fault.
Paul, for bringing
gonna,
this up.
It's going to be our fault.
This gave me a good laugh.
Oh my goodness! I think it's dumb.
Wait,
but anyway,
it's good for us. It's good for us. We're gonna get a lot of views talking about this shit going down at the world. So
then it will be our fault.
Thank you.
You guys
Mom.
only focus on the drama.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Well, I'm gonna wrap it up.
One more good
shit.
reason.
One
to
more.
respect tires.
I'm going.
No. One more good reason to run spec tires. That was going to say.
Okay. I'm about to say not one more. One more is like 20 minutes for you.
No. Not one more topic. Just one more reason to not run spec tires.
I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that sent us some super chats today. We greatly appreciate it. Gonna try to get back maybe next week as well when I come back from Mills Pond. We'll see what Max is up to. He's got to get busy doing some recording too for his Max Tangents coming out here shortly. I keep saying it and just waiting for him to do it. And all you science mode guys out there, you are going to enjoy it. And that's like, we need to go get dinner. I'm going to have my leftovers from last night because we got to get ready for, I'm going to put my clothes in the dryer. I'm going to chill out for an hour, have my supper, and then we're going to be back live at 7:30. Go ahead, Lance. I'm going to have my food from last night. We need to go get there because Lance knows.
You're telling Lance to put the oven on? What's going on?
No, I got my I'm gonna heat up my leftovers in the microwave her, and I'm gonna chill out.
Right.
And then we're gonna get ready for he says we need to test a new ride. He got a new golf cart. He's all excited.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going in that golf cart into town. It would take us an hour. It was fun. Thank you, Max, for your time. We want to thank everybody. We had 100+ people on her the entire time. It was some good discussions. We went over some cool things. I hope you guys do enjoy the Coffee and RC. I know the plan is for you to get with Will next week and probably do an EOS and Neo recap. And yeah, also we're going to be looking for companies to do NNRC coverage of the World Championships. We're looking to take Max and Will over there as well. So yeah, if you guys like that, we might do some crowdfunding for that. I think we're going to have to do some crowd. We're going to have to do help us get to the world's crowdfunding situation or something, some way to do that there to get us over there and get you guys per diem and all that type of stuff paid for, so we can bring some awesome coverage. And I am floating around the idea of going to the Lone Star race. I'm not sure. It's just there. So I gotta relax, Lance. I gotta get ready for our show. So I'm gonna relax. Gonna have the leftovers. You go ahead. And I'll thank all of you guys out there. We greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to show some love to our sponsors. If you like what we're doing, consider becoming a YouTube member. You'll get some early access of stuff. Am I scared of Joey? I'm not scared of anybody. And Jakey, you always gotta. I'm not scared of you, Joey. Q. I just don't. I want to go home. I'm gonna be here for quite some time. I kind of want to go home. So before Worlds, you should do a video interview top drivers for it. I mean, if I go to the warm up, I would have their. That's the plan. I would do that type of stuff. We'll be at the World, so we'll be able to talk to them and get that type of content up before they get to race. So, yeah, I think that's it. JQ's going on to ABC. He told me that him and Paco are going on to Malaysia, which is the next weekend. So that's going to be good. I'll be
there.
I assume Fee's going to be there.
Guys there. Yeah, there'll be a bunch of
I assume Fee's going to be there. I could be wrong. He could be coming back. I think we should ban Left. I think JQ's had too much alcohol.
Along with this.
If I didn't go to a World, JQ would be upset because he wouldn't have nobody to complain to.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody can reserve the restaurant either.
Go check out his video that he just dropped. It was really good, where he breaks down Carrot. And he says, I'm sober, been testing sauce. Hey, maybe we'll get a super chat out of him like we did last time. But we're not going for 8 hours. We're not going for 8 hours.
No, we're done. We're going to be going for 3 already.
I just want to. I did enjoy his video that he did the other day. You should go check it out, and he should make some more of those videos.
Really good one.
So, too much Ritalin. I would agree there too.
Yeah.
We want to thank you all. We greatly appreciate it. Max, thank you for your time. Thank you all for the cool questions, and maybe we'll see you next week. Don't you have to qualify for the Worlds? Yep, you do.
It would be funny if the media guys would have to qualify as well.
You are one super chat short. Maybe JQ will give that to us, but he probably won't. He only wants to give it to us.
That could be my engagement present from JQ.
Oh, that's right. He missed all the best man JQ and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We forgot. Oh, hold on. We forgot to even talk about this. Shit.
Okay, should we talk about it? It's not going to be too long.
All right. Look, JQ, give us a super chat and we'll talk about this real quick.
Yeah.
And not a $9.99. Give us a $59.99 or $99.99. Show us some love.
Yeah.
So real quick, you had a great discussion about Carap prior to
Mhm.
coming on her. Go drop it real quick.
Yeah, so I was thinking of doing Max's tangent on dirty driving on this.
A rebuttal to JQ's video.
I gotta get it back to this. Wait, are you engaged? me or us? No, not us. Me and my now fiance are indeed engaged.
69 cents ain't gonna work. $69.
Yeah, I don't think it lets you.
$69.99. That's what you got to put another 99 on there.
Yeah, so I saw JQ's video and he was like, oh, Carup is a CTO, blah blah blah. And I posted on our NNRC group chat when it happened. I said that
I did see that.
I don't think Carup was that bad in the incident. With Ongaro, sure. Shouldn't have done that. That was just dumb. What happened with Polito? That was a fair and square pass. There was a gap. He went for it, and Polito closed in the door and took himself out. That was the reason why they had contact, was on Polito, not on Carup. He was in front of Polito when they touched, and Carup didn't overshoot the corner. That was a fair and square outbreaking maneuver. Okay, and that's because Polito left the door open to get a better exit. And if you're racing with each other, that's something you can't do. And I think that this actually reveals. I know this is going to get me in a bit of a trouble with the Southern Europeans, but there is a difference between how people race. So the Southern Europeans tend to race in a way where they act like they're the only driver on the track. You saw that with Ongaro and Canas at the e-buggy Euros last year, where Ongaro just fucking smashed through Canas and punched him into the wall. You've seen it before with Canas and Ronafog with the 50-50 incident. You've seen it with Robert a lot of the times. You've seen with a bunch of other Italians and Southern Europeans in the past. But they tend to have this racing culture where you drive your line, and if you make a mistake, that's when the other guy that's behind is able to make the pass. They don't tend to race differently when there's a car close to them. But it has a downside, because when you don't tend to take different lines when you have a car around you, you seem to leave the door open quite a bit, which happened to Polito. But because he's not used to somebody squaring up like that, because that's not what they do down there, he didn't even anticipate that happening. But when you look at Ronefolk racing Ongaro or even like Carup racing these other people, he checked himself when he was too close and he knew there wasn't a gap, same as Ronefolk did. And a lot of other like people do that are not from that culture. I think Mayfield's one of those guys who does that when he checks up when he knows there's no space, unless it's for a race win, where then sometimes he can be a bit more rough around the passing. But there are drivers like this, and I think the best examples come from on road. If you look at Coelho in on road, he's taken out Michael at the Worlds. He's taken out Mark countless times. He's taken out Bruno countless times. And none of these were that he was trying to make an overtake. None of these were that he was making an overtake. And I think that is the major difference between the sort of driving sort of etiquette or racing etiquette that different areas have. I'm talking mostly about Europe because that's most that I know, most races that I raced with. But there is a big difference in taking someone out because you don't think that they are going to cross into your line, and drivers that try to make a move and are overestimating the gap that there is. And Kerup is the type of driver to overestimate the gap that there is. He has done it before. But then again, on some occasions, he estimates it correctly. And sometimes what he does is that even when he estimates it correctly, there is no the driver that he's racing against doesn't understand that they've lost the situation and they still turn into him. So I think that's the whole thing. Like, there's different type of takeouts. Kerup is an aggressive overtaker and he goes for gaps, but he does so efficiently. Maybe sometimes over eager, maybe sometimes over optimistic, yes. But at the same time, he's actually trying to make moves. He's not just hanging his wheel in there to take someone out. He did that with Ongaro. And he shouldn't have done that. But with Polito, I think it was fair game. That's when the tracks are so tight as they are. That's what happens. There's not going to be moves where you don't touch the other driver. The only reason why Ronnefolk's moves and Ongaro was clean was because Ongaro played himself out of it. He basically knew that if David touched him, he would lose. So that's why when he landed wide, he tried to power around Ronnefolk to make sure that he wasn't going to touch him. But then he powered himself out to the dust and Ronnefolk got by. But if he basically would have ran like he usually runs, or any of these people usually run, there would have most likely been a touch if Ronnefolk tried to move there. And then JQ used this example of a Ronnefolk back down. Sure, but that was like 2 minutes in. Kerup was in fourth. So if Ronnefolk took Ongaro out and Kerup won the main, Kerup could have won the whole race. So for Ronnefolk, that was looking after his own ass, not necessarily being a clean driver or whatever. So that's kind of my take. I think Kerup gets a bad rep. He's done some absolutely ridiculous shit in the EOS behind in his career, but at the same time, he has a decent understanding of where his car is and where the other person's car is. Now, the only thing he needs to fix is when is he gonna go for that gap, and when is he not gonna go for that gap. And I think that's a difference that not a lot of drivers have. Like, you take some of these guys, you cannot trust them to run half a meter behind you because they're going to hit you at some point. There's drivers like that. And then there's drivers who are in very much control of where their car is, where it's going to go, and they can drive a fucking 5 centimeters away from your car and never hit you unless you do something crazy, surprising, or close the door or whatever. And I think Kerup is the latter of those, but I think he's just taking too many risks. So I think CTO is very different from a KTO.
Well, JQ absolutely disagrees with you, but he can't get a super chat working. So he got it working in the 8-hour podcast. So if you that's your rebuttal. I think you don't even need to make a video. You can just clip this up. But he couldn't send us a super chat this week. Instead of 69 cents, he should have been 69.99. Or if he really was feeling generous, he could have been 699.99. But it's JQ.
69. He could have got 69.420.
But something just.
No, this is untrue. This is
my body.
Untrue. Straight up untrue. No, they don't. What CTO is the blatant disregard for the driver around you in the track. What a KTO is a lack of lack of respect for the cars around you, and overestimating the gap that you have and the time that you have to be in that gap. So he's basically there. There's two types of situations. CTO is that he didn't even think he would hit the car in front. KTO is like, there's a chance I hit the car in front, but either I don't care or I think I can get away with it, that we don't hit. That I think there's a big enough gap. And there's a clear difference between these two. There are people like Max Verstappen, and then there are people like Romain Grosjean. Romain Grosjean is a fast guy around the track, but he's a terrible wheel-to-wheel racer. Max Verstappen, yes, he takes people out, but he's an amazingly talented wheel-to-wheel racer. And these two are totally different. They're totally different concepts to each other. Another one is someone who is skilled and knows what they're doing, but they are not doing it in the best way possible. They are either by their over optimism or by their lack of respect for others doing it, whereas the other person can't help it. They just don't know either how to race around other cars, or they just forget that there's cars around them, and for some reason throughout their career they get away with it. And I think this is something that is like, I think Rivkin is the former or the latter in this last case. I think Rivkin is one of those guys who just accidentally takes people out, partly because he doesn't care, but partly because he, like, even if he doesn't have that, like, oh, we're gonna hit, I need to brake. He's like, we might hit, we might not, I don't really know, and then they usually hit. And then there's some guys who, like, know that they might hit, but they know this might be their chance to pass. So yeah, that's my take on it. There's different type of people. Both can be lack of respect for others, but the other one is a knowing lack of respect for others, and the other is lack of respect due to lack of skill. And I think that's why they're totally different. Senna was like, let's bring F1 back. Senna was one of the fucking most talented race car drivers ever to live and walk on this earth. He took people out left and fucking right because he thought that he owns the track. He thought that when I go for this gap, I can make it because I'm so fucking good. And then he took them out. Yes, exactly. Care-Up is a higher skilled hack. Exactly.
Good explanation. I'm sorry, I got distracted because my buddy from Dylan Codwell just showed up for my gas truck. And I finally have a non-Adam Drake paint job. Woohoo! We got a little drip action on the front. And then we got a little not aqua, seafoam blue-ish, seafoam blue-green. A little NNRC mics in there. Well done, Dylan Codwell. Oof. Nice. This is my new paint scheme.
Yeah.
So
let me finish on. And the way you can tell this, if the driver makes nice overtakes but sometimes takes people out, they're a high skilled hacker. And if a driver never makes nice overtakes but takes people out, they are just a hacker.
Once again, JQ coming in. You know what? This might be a debate for you and JQ live here on the NNRC at some point. But then we need a whole day. Because it's going to take about 3 hours for you guys to come to a conclusion. Or see each other's point. See each other's point and rewrite it. But yeah, good video. You should do a video. Include this. And keep up the good work on the videos there, JQ, Invisible Speed. He's still going. Man, if he paid that super chat, we'd keep on going. 69.
No, but the other people have a choice and the other people don't have a choice. That's the difference between it. And yeah,
Ooh, so that's the next video
Gyro.
that's coming out. Your gyro video. I'm very
Yeah.
interested to see that. Very interested to see that. So I look forward to that. When is the
Maybe that's
estimated
why.
arrival
Maybe
of that?
that's why the. Maybe that's why the Italians take everyone
See, this
out.
is
'cause
this
they're
is
all
why
running
this is why I
gyros.
can't this is why I can't have you two together, because then you start one up each other on insults, because you can't insult each other. So then you insult other people, and then you go up and up. JQ says something, then you gotta raise the bar, and then he goes harder, and he goes. Then you know who loses? This guy. I lose. So I lose.
Yeah,
So we know.
just for the viewers, especially the Italians, I don't think the Italians use gyros, and I
No.
think the Italians are talented not because of gyros, but because they're talented.
Well,
drivers,
you know what?
okay?
We'll find out if a gyro really helps you when JQ's gyro video comes. He's only been talking about it for like 8 years.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
No.
I'm gonna spoil it for you guys. It's better if you're talented. If you suck like JQ, it's not. But if you're
Oh,
good,
see,
like
I didn't say that, JQ. That's your
Yeah.
Padawan right there. Nice truggy body. Actually, it's not a truggy body. It's a gas truck body, Clubhouse. But just not the it. Okay, I do just not the pro racers. Okay, I have no idea what JQ's talking about. Maybe the sauce is getting to him
maybe it's the sauce.
because he couldn't figure out how to put a $69.99 super chat in there. But he wants to.
He says he's less talented gyro user.
JQ, will a gyro help me? Will a gyro help me get out of rookie e-truggy class?
No. I don't think so. Well, maybe you, because you don't know which way you're going.
All right, one last question. Revolution Motorsport. Max, will the Worlds be a bar tire Worlds, or will we see anybody running pins?
I believe they run the rehabs last year, if I'm not wrong. Right? I don't think they run bar tires last time out. I'm pretty sure they run like rehabs and stuff. So I'd imagine them to run those. Unless they clean the track, like sweep the track every day and stuff like that. It could be a bar tire if they add more glue too. But the dust is basically the only reason you couldn't run a bar tire. If there's dust on the track, even on the side of the line, the bar tire is so bad. It's like so slippery. And we have this, like you saw Hot Race release the was it Hawaii, I think it was called. I think that's going to be the tire to run, unless like there's less dust. The dust is the one that matters.
All right, well, here's JQ's answer to my question. Will a gyro make me better? Yes, because you are so shit. That is like a typical JQ answer.
Yeah.
Thank you, JQ. Don't forget $69.99. Oh, Camden Line. We ran bar tires at Nationals last
they
year.
did. Which one did you run?
Where?
Maybe we can get an answer, because I can't remember which one people ran, but because I saw pictures from like I don't know if it was qualifying or something, but I saw people running like rehabs and stuff. Yeah, but I can't.
Yeah, I'm gonna go because I gotta be live in 2 hours. So
okay,
I'm gonna get some supper.
end this here. So
we're gonna be. Oh, by the way, join us in 2 hours time. We're gonna be giving away the Camden Line built S-Works buggy, and then we're doing an INS preview show with Jason Rona and Mike Himelek. We ran our Havoc, I believe. Ajax guys ran double bar and relapse. So
Havoc. What's
Promotion.
Ajax? Ah,
I believe JC guys ran double bar and relapse. Dude, you know what, JQ? Yeah. Camden could kick your ass on your best day when you was at top of your game.
Yeah,
right
by
now.
the way, we was talking about so much other stuff this show. We were supposed to talk about PMB, but I had Camden on my winners list. Who is JQ?
Oh god, I
Yeah.
can see where this is
So-
going. We're gonna have to end this show very
So
shortly.
yeah. So shout out to Camden. Top 3 at DNC, 4th at PNB. Good job, dude. I to getting on my winners list. I feel like if you ask anyone, that's a difficult task because people say I'm so negative. So
Yeah, because his
I think
dad was
that's-
not happy with what you said about him last time. I know because I got the
What did I
message.
say? What did I say?
I can't remember what you say on. I can't remember.
Oh,
what you
maybe
said
I
5
said
minutes ago.
maybe I said that it was a fluke or something, but clearly he's showing it's not. So good job, Camden.
Lefty,
Shout out
you're just
to
gonna have to roll right through to the next show. No dinner for you. I gotta go put my clothes in the dryer. That's what I'm gonna go do. But anyway, thank you, JQ, for joining in and stretching this out and not paying us the $69.99 super chat fee. We do appreciate it. We look forward for the gyro video. We want to thank everybody that gave us some super chats today and asked us some questions. We hope you guys do like the coffee and RC. Consider becoming a YouTube member or a Patreon. That helps us out a lot. And you get early access to certain things. And you get that discount code on the NNRC merch. Don't forget, we have that going on as well. Takes about 7 business days for you guys to get it. When you do get it, please tag us in some pictures. We want to see where you're rocking your NNRC merch and what part of the world. So, all right, you had one more question. You had Camden Lines.
Yeah, I just wanted to
We just can't
say
end
that.
this, can we?
No. I just wanted to say about the tires one more thing, that I don't think it's going to be like a Sahara and dirt whips type of worlds. Because even if you look at those tires, Rehab, Double Bar, Havoc, they're all like higher pin bar tires. So like, like AK had those chain links, tires like that. So I don't think it's going to be a full bar tire of worlds, but it could be. Now we can end this, okay?
Yeah, in honor of JQ, we're gonna play.
promise.
In honor of JQ, we're gonna play an awesome video. And I just want to say thank you to all of our sponsors: J Concepts, High Tech RC, Sidewinder, Beach RC, Invisible Speed, ML Toys, Elite RC Productions, Tekno RC, Get Shit Done Coffee, One Up Racing, Mayako SMC Batteries, SJ Racing, A Main Hobbies, and don't forget about the Shores Truck Nationals coming up the 17th, 18th, and 19th of October. Showing the sponsors some love, shows us some love. We have links for them all in the written description. Also, hit that like notification button. We are very close to 9,000. We would love to get to 10,000 by the end of this year. It's a big hope. And but we need to get to 9,000 too. We're about 75 away from that. So please hit that like notification button.
9,000 by the end of the month. We can do it, guys.
Yeah,
I believe
that would be
you.
great. 9,000 by the end of the month. And we hope you guys do enjoy the content. There is content coming out 5 days a week. Hit that like notification button. Please stop getting triggered by the thumbnails. That's the point. The thumbnail is to get you to go watch the video, right? So click on the video before you answer on the thumbnail. Go to the YouTube section and comment there. We want all the YouTube comments there. I can't tell you how many people get triggered at your damn thumbnails there, Max. And look, my favorite is the end as well. That's what she said with you, JQ. Her favorite was the end. But you know what? This is one of your favorite moments right here. And we have it all on video. And we got to go because I can see where this is going.
One more is all you. Oh my God. That's left. My retirement present is so close. 5 seconds. Where's Coelho? Oh, there is he. Nah, he made it through. He won't. Oh, no one of them will now. Time. What's David?
Finish now.
He's done it. Oh, yes! Yeah. Oh.
That's good.
Well done.
Well done.
Congratulations.